Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition, special impromptu edition of Major Level Entertainment Show. I am your host and owner of the channel, your boy Big Major. Y'all know who I am. You know what I'm talking about? Thank y'all for joining me. If y'all coming in, please like and subscribe to my channel. I do more than just talk about Lakers stuff. I do talk about other things, other forms of entertainment. This is, after all, major level entertainment, y'all. So I do appreciate y'all coming in and showing up for anything that I do, y'all. I'm gonna be doing more non-sports shows as well as sports shows. So I thank y'all for showing up and giving me this time. Hell Rail, let's go, baby. You said let's go, Major. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to Hell Rail. Thank you for showing up. You know what I'm talking about? There's a reason why these guys got wrenches and y'all don't. You understand what I'm talking about? There he goes, the bandwagoneer. There he goes, Cuba. He says, Michael Jackson easy. It ain't even no debate. It ain't even no discussion. Major should just go ahead and not even do the show. That's what I'm saying. You know what? As a matter of fact, show's over, y'all. There's no show, no debate. Michael Jackson, greatest of all times. You understand what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and get a shout out to I forgot to give a shout out to my main guy, one of the snipers on the channel, my damn nephew, your guy, my guy, H motherfucking Davis. You understand what I'm talking about? He says salute, man. Like, share, subscribe here, and then head over to Lakers in 5 and Laker Girl 36. Grab a seat, get you something to drink. And you better get some drink because it's about to get hot up and chill. You know what I'm talking about? Hot up and chill. So yes, as you can see, the title is "Who's the Greatest Michael of All Times?" Now, that idea came to me through my queen, of course. The queen was just like, "Why don't you do a show? You always talking about Michael Jackson. Why don't you do a show? You know what I'm saying? Who's the greatest Michael of all times?" And I said, you know, that's a good idea. Now, I'm I'm blessed to have lived through both of these guys' careers. I'm so blessed to have lived through both of these guys' career. You know what I'm saying? I'm 70s kid, 80s baby. You know what I'm talking about? So I was able to see all of Michael Jordan's career. Hell, I can go back to his college days. You know what I'm talking about? And then I was able to see the middle, starting from the middle to or I'm gonna say the early middle, early mid to the end of Michael Jackson's career. I was able to see it all. There he goes, my cousin. He said, salute Big Cuzzo 100%. Y'all already know what time it is. Please put down in the comments, y'all, who do y'all think is the greatest Michael of all times? You know what I'm saying? I say Michael Jackson, of course. I say Michael Jackson, of course, because I lived through that time. A lot of people might say Michael Jordan because, of course, even though a lot of people are not old enough to remember all the accomplishments Michael Jordan achieved and how big he was on the court, you certainly heard it from uncles and pops and all of that. But Michael Jackson is widely, widely popular. There was even saying at one point Michael Jackson was just as popular as Jesus Christ, yo. That's how. No, I'm not playing. I'm very, very serious about this. So let me go ahead and say, this. But but who's the greatest Michael? I see Hellro said Tyson might be better than MJ. Um, Mike is different, but I'm talking about those who were born Michael with the name Michael. You know, who's the better Michael? And of course, you know, Mike Tyson definitely, you know what I'm saying? He's a great athlete, but he's not, even if he was in the conversation, he wouldn't be on these guys' level. This is just, and then I'm gonna name all their accomplishments, and then that's gonna show you why. You know what I'm talking about? So when it comes to a topic of this magnitude, you're talking about the two of the very best Michaels to have ever done it. You know what I'm talking about? So that's what we're gonna get into today. You know what I'm talking about? Chris says Michael Bublé. For those of y'all that don't know who Michael Bublé is, he is a singer. You know what I'm talking about? I'm very familiar with Michael Bublé. I've had to, guard a couple shows. You got Michael B. Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Let's go through all the Michaels we know. All the Michaels we've heard of. You know what I'm talking about? Mikes and Michaels. Let's go ahead and just go through that just so we can get a glimpse as into how many famous Michaels and Mikes there are. So let's go ahead and get into it. But before I go, Cuzzo says both guys had legendary runs. Can't lie about that. I'm gonna pick Michael Jackson mainly because dude was making grown men and women pass out at his shows. Yes, that's exactly what he was doing, bro. That's exactly what he was doing. And it really ain't even close. You know what I'm talking about? Jordan don't have that same star appeal. He doesn't. He doesn't. I'm gonna get into a story too. When I get near the end of the show, or after I finish talking about Michael Jackson, I'm gonna get to a story about Michael Jackson meeting both guys. But I'm gonna get to a story about Michael Jackson to make what Cuzzo's statement, what he said was true. That's the impact that this man had. Goat James says, Cuba, I'm gonna kick your ass, bro. LOL. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, let's go ahead. So we're gonna go down the list of some of the Michaels. You know what I'm saying? Just off the top of the dome. You know what I'm saying? Of course, aside from Michael Jackson and Michael Jordan, you do have Mike Tyson. Everybody know Mike Tyson's a famous boxer, one of my favorite boxers of all time. You know what I'm saying? One of the youngest champs ever to do it. So he's definitely a famous Mike. We have Michael Phelps. Y'all know who Michael Phelps is. You know what I'm saying? One of the, widely regarded as one of the greatest swimmers of all times, one of the most decorated Olympians of all times. Michael Phelps, definitely. Michael Schumacher. You know what I'm saying? For those of y'all that don't know who Michael Schumacher is, you know what I'm saying? He's a German race car driver. And he's widely regarded as one of the greatest Formula One drivers ever. So, put some respect on his name. Michael B. Jordan. We all know who Michael B. Jordan is. He's an up and coming, actor. I can't really say he's up and coming, but he's basically an actor. You know what I'm saying? He's done some great works. You might have caught him on The Wire early in his career, whatever the case may be. More recently, you've caught him in movies like Sinners and, the Creed franchise and all of that stuff. So definitely, Michael B. Jordan is definitely touted to be a good Michael. Michael J. Fox, an actor from the 80s. I know him well. You know what I'm talking about? He's dealing with Parkinson's disease now. But Michael J. Fox, he was on a show in the 80s called Family Ties. You know what I'm talking about? He was big in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? Considered American heartthrob or whatever the case may be. Michael Caine, another actor, a legendary actor. He got so many acting credits up under his belt, Batman, just a bunch of different things. But he's an old actor from Europe, whatever the case may be. So Michael Caine is another big guy. Michael Keaton, you know what I'm saying? The first Batman in a live action, in live movie action, I should say. You know what I'm saying? So he set it off. Michael Keaton, Batman 1989. He set the tone for Batman, for the Batman franchises. Michael Bublé, like Cuba just said a minute ago, you know what I'm saying? One of the greatest jazz and swing singers, you know what I'm saying, in his generation, you know what I'm saying? So definitely somebody noteworthy. Mike Myers, y'all know who Mike Myers is, you know what I'm saying? That's that dude, Austin Powers, the spy who shagged me and all of those guys, whatever the case may be. He's another guy we all know. Michael Douglas, now I'm talking about from Fatal Attraction fame, 1987. He's an actor, famous actor. Michael Cera, he's another famous actor. Mike Trout for the Anaheim Angels, you know what I'm saying? Famed baseball player, you know what I'm saying? He's considered, you know what I'm saying? He's a famous Mike. Michael Bolton, famous singer from the 80s. You know what I'm saying? He's a famous singer. Everybody knows who he is in my generation, Michael Bolton. Michael Strahan, you know what I'm talking about? One of my guys. You know what I'm talking about? Played for the Giants. Y'all already know one of the greatest defensive ends of all time. One of the greatest. You know what I'm talking about? Michael Vick. Y'all already know. Don't let the ASPCA hear me talking about Vick. But Vick was one of those quarterbacks that was a running back and a quarterback in the same time. You know, so I'm talking about he was definitely one of the best running quarterbacks of all times and one of the best black quarterbacks of all time. We got Michael the Archangel. Now, Michael the Archangel is a mythological person, for those who really don't believe in, that story, whatever, who are not too religious. But Michael is the archangel that's famous for kicking Lucifer out of heaven. Lucifer being the devil, y'all know that. So I'm just naming all of Michaels I know off the top of the dome. Michael, who else? Michael, Michael Jai White. You know what I'm talking about? Actor in famous martial artist. Got a chance to meet the brother a couple times. He's a cool brother, man, and he really knows this shit. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, I'm talking about Michael Bay, the director, famed director and producer. You know what I'm saying? He makes all those big time action flicks. You know what I'm saying? Bad Boys and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Those you know, that guy always blowing up some shit. Michael Bay definitely is a guy. Cuba he said Michael Kenneth Williams. Is Michael K. Williams? That's the dude that I met him a couple times. That's the dude from The Wire. He had the scar across his face. Yeah, he's another famous Michael. Michael Ealy is another famous Michael, or whatever the case may be. Bandwagon says Laker girl likes Michael Ealy. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm talking about. So yeah, definitely. Michael Clark Duncan, a guy I was real close to before he passed away. You know what I'm saying? Big time actor. Also, I would work out in the same gym he worked out at. He'd work out in the same gym. He'd be at the Equinox down there by the Lakers facility in El Segundo, California. Rest in peace to Michael Clark Duncan. Big dude. We was about around the same size. Mike Ditka. Y'all know who Mike Ditka is, right? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? He played for the Chicago Bears. He was a tight end. And then he also became like a TV commentator and all of that. So definitely, he was a tight end with the Bears. He was a tight end with Philadelphia Eagles, I believe, and Dallas Cowgirls. So, you know what I'm talking about. Mike Piazza, of course, baseball player. Michael Irvin, one of my favorite wide receivers of all time, even though he played for the wrong team, the Dallas Cowgirls. You know what I'm talking about? They called him the playmaker in his day. Michael Irvin, you know what I'm talking about? Michael Rappaport, the comedian. I met him a couple times in person. Cool dude. Don't let him fool you. That nigga funny. Don't let him fool you. That nigga's funny. Cool dude, comedian, actor, you know, activist. He does what he does. You know what I'm talking about? I can't think of any other Michael. So basketball player Michael Finley. Y'all remember Michael Finley? You know what I'm talking about? He used to give Jordan a business when he was younger, cooking Jordan a little bit. And Jordan trained with him. And Jordan once said about Michael Finley that he's one of the, you know, the premier athletes to look out for. So he definitely was one of those guys that was like, he was on the uprise. You know what I'm talking about? I can't think of any other Michael. It's like one is on top. There's another Michael. Not really that famous. A lot of y'all don't know him. As a matter of fact, I'm sure nobody up here knows who he is. But there was a Michael Jackson that played basketball. Y'all remember? I don't know. You know, a lot of y'all wasn't alive, but he played basketball for the Sacramento Kings. He was a point guard. Michael Jackson, a point guard. He only played 3 years, so even older people like myself wouldn't even remember him. But I remember him because I'm just old and I was like heavily into sports like that. I mean, I knew everybody's goddamn name. No matter how insignificant or important you were, I knew your name. You know what I'm talking about? So, yeah, Michael Jackson. Somebody go do some research on Michael Jackson. He played a couple years. I think he played like 3 or 4 years, whatever case may be, for the Sacramento Kings. So definitely. Oh, yeah. Somebody said Mike Epps. You know what I'm saying? Mike Epps is another Michael. You know what I'm talking about? So those are the Michaels that I know about off the top of the head. If anybody know any more, please name them down below. But we're not here for those Michaels. We're here for these Michaels, the greatest Michaels of all times. Now, before I get into it, I'm going to do Jordans first. Everybody know I'm not a Jordan fan at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Laker diehard all the way to the marrow of all the way to the fiber of my very being. I'm a Laker fan. So me being a Laker fan gave me the allowance to hate Michael Jordan the way I did. But let me say this so I don't sound hypocritical. Okay, I loved Jordan's shoes, not all of them, but I've had almost every pair of shoes he has ever created from the time he made his first shoe back in 84, 85, all the way up until maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. I've even had some Team Jordans. Hell, I had some Carmelo Anthony's and I had some Chris Paul's, you know, his Team Jordans. I had some Michael Finley's. You know, anybody that's ever been signed to Jordan, I've had a pair. But I've had I have to say, between my house here, my house in New York, I probably have had over 2,000 pairs of Jordans in my lifetime. I'm not saying now, but in my lifetime. Now I probably got about maybe 200 or 300 pairs of J's right now. Just at any given time I could pull them out. Now I love these shoes. I don't mean I cared about him much, But I will say this, because I'm not no hater. I can't sit here and tell you that just because I hated Michael Jordan, that he was a bum of any kind. Let me tell you, he was one of the greatest dudes I ever seen put on some gym shoes. I'm serious. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it Jim Beam with y'all. You know what I'm talking about? I can't see. Here's the difference between haters and people like me. I got enough heart to give somebody their props. There's no way I'm gonna say that this dude is a fucking bum, even though I can't stand his guts. He was going against my damn team. Because let me tell you this: if the Lakers had a chance to get Michael Jordan in the '80s, you think I would have been like, hell no, I hate him. He's on the Bulls. No, I would have been like, bring that motherfucker over here quickly with Magic, Jordan, and Worthy. Walk with me right quick. You got Kareem at the center. You got Kareem at the center, right? You got Magic. You got Kareem at the center. You got Worthy playing power forward. You got Magic at the point. You got Jordan at the shooting guard. Or hell, you know what? Let's go ahead and switch it around. You put Kareem at the center. Let's see, Kareem at the center. Worthy at the power forward. Shooting guard, because Byron Scott would have been our normal shooting guard. Move Byron Scott out the way. Put Michael Jordan at the shooting guard. Magic Johnson at the point, and AC Green as a small forward. Or you can move him around. You can put Worthy to small forward because he would guard small forwards. He was fast enough. And then put AC Green at the power forward. In the 80s, wasn't nobody beating that team. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Wasn't nobody beating that team. Magic's passing and his IQ, that's like LeBron today. Jordan and his scoring ability, that would have been like Kobe today. Or Shea or any other people you consider scorers. And then Kareem was just unstoppable. He had the most unstoppable shot in history. To this day, there's no shot more unstoppable than the fucking sky hook. I don't give a fuck what you talk about. Argue with your mama, save it for Obama. You understand what I'm talking about? In Worthy, who Michael Jordan himself said, he picked Worthy on the team before, said that this dude had one of the fastest first steps in all of basketball history. And a lot of other people have said the same thing. If you don't believe me, go look up Big James highlights. Don't make me do a show on him, because y'all be shitting on his name as if he wasn't that guy. You know what I'm talking about? But this ain't about Worthy right now. Fall back. Your name is James. We're going to get into who the best James in the world are later on. You know what I'm talking about? We're talking about the greatest Michaels of all time. You understand what I'm talking about? Yeah, I did say Mike. Mike Phelps. Michael Phelps. Because I did say that. All right. So look, check this out. Hell, Rail said, hell, my name Michael today. You know what I'm talking about? I know that's right. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm going to run through their achievements, right? Some of these are some I already know, but just for quality intensive purposes, and I'm not really skipping over anything, I'm just going to read their achievements online. Now, to make it fair, I'm going to start from the time they were children, whenever they started their career as children, all the way up until the end of their careers, or, until now, whatever the case may be. Okay, so let me start with Michael Jeffrey Jordan, born February 17th, 1963. 1963. Let me go ahead and start with Jordan, man. So as we all know, Jordan played 3 years at the University of Carolina from 1981 to 84. Okay, I remember those years. Jordan first year, he averaged a little bit over 13 points a game. You know why he averaged a little bit over 13 points a game? Because James Worthy was the best player on that team. At least for a little bit of time. He said he was the best player on the team for a couple of weeks. But no, James Worthy was the best player on the team, period. At that point. He was, period. Yeah, you had everybody else, Sam Perkins, all those guys. But James Worthy, everybody knew who he was and what he was. They knew what he was about. So Jordan, so he played in college for 3 years in college. Okay. Now these will be his amateur achievements. Okay. So walk with me and listen up carefully. Once again, if you're new coming into the channel, like, share, and subscribe while I get everything together. So let's go ahead and get off into his amateur achievements. And then we're going to start working our way all through his career. Okay? Let's go ahead and, hold on, give me a second. Okay. Let's look at his media rankings first. Media rankings. The official NBA website states that by acclamation, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. That's according to the NBA, and that was a while back. Okay. Now the reason why I said that was a while back is because now the updated standard on Michael Jordan is that he is considered one of the greatest basketball players of all times. Not the greatest basketball player of all times. One of the greatest basketball players of all time. Now, that's going to be important when it comes to who's the greatest Michael of all time. Because in his field of work, Michael Jordan is one of the greatest basketball players of all time. You know why they say he's one of the greatest basketball players of all time and not the greatest basketball player of all time? Because there's something in the NBA called a GOAT conversation. In the NBA, there's something called a GOAT conversation. That means that somebody else is in that GOAT. That means somebody else is in the topic of GOATs. Now, if they were to say he was the greatest basketball player of all times, then it would be no GOAT conversation. We all know who's in a GOAT conversation, don't we? We all know that LeBron is in the GOAT conversation, don't we know that? And still to the day, some people might say Kareem is in a GOAT conversation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? If Michael is one of the greatest players of all time, Wikipedia says LeBron also is one of the greatest players of all time. Wikipedia also says that Kareem is one of the greatest players of all time. Those three guys, ladies and gentlemen, are in the GOAT conversation. I'm going to get to Michael's in a minute, but before I do, let me say this. According to Wikipedia, even to this day, 16 years after Michael Jackson has died, his 16-year anniversary was the other day, a couple days ago. 16 years after Michael Jackson has passed away, ladies and gentlemen, you know what the world says? The world says he is the greatest entertainer of all time. Not one of the greatest, not top 5 greatest. That motherfucker said he is the greatest entertainer of all time. You know why, ladies and gentlemen? Because there is no conversation. There's no GOAT conversation when it comes to entertainment. Not Chris Brown, not Usher, not Justin Timberlake, not Justin Bieber, or any other goddamn Jeff there is. Not Prince. That motherfucker is the great. Not even James Brown, the Godfather of Soul. Even James Brown said it when he was alive. This motherfucker is the greatest entertainer. The greatest, not the greatest singer, the greatest entertainer of all times. And I'm talking about people like Fred Astaire has been in the world. People like Sammy Davis Jr. has been in the world. People like James Brown has been in the world. But this motherfucker here is the greatest entertainer of all times. My name is Major Level Entertainment. Guess what? I'm not nowhere in the conversation. Leave me out of it, ladies and gentlemen. I know y'all want me to put myself, throw my hat in there. But Michael Jackson is the greatest, the number one greatest entertainer of all time. I don't give a fuck about Beyonce and her beehive. Fuck that bitch. I'm telling you what I know, ladies and gentlemen. This is what the world says. That motherfucker is the greatest entertainer of all times. And there's not even a close guy in proximity of him. So let's get into Michael Jordan bitch ass stats. All right. So, number one on Slam Magazine's top 50 players of all time. This was in 1997. Number two on Sports Illustrated's top 25 athletes of the 20th century, 1999. Number two on Sports Illustrated's top 25 athletes in the 20th century, 1999. Number one on Sports Illustrated's top 50 athletes of the 20th century from North Carolina. See, now they nitpicking. Now they stand from a certain region, but we'll carry on because this is going to get crushed. Watch. This is exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, stick with me. If you're coming in, like, and subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm talking about? Number two on the Associated Press top 100 athletes of the 20th century, 1999. Notice all the shit, 1999. He's number one on the Associated Press's greatest basketball players of the century, 1999. Excuse me. Number one on ESPN's top 10 greatest North American athletes of the 20th century, 1999. Number one, Slam Magazine, top 50 players of all times, 2009. Number 1, Slam Magazine's top 500 greatest NBA players of all times. He's number 1. 2011. Number 1, ESPN's top 20 athletes, 95 to 2015. This was in 2015. Number 1, Sports Illustrated's top 50 greatest NBA players of all time, 2016. Number 1, Slam Magazine's top 100 greatest players of all time, 2018. Number 1 on Bleacher Report's top 50 greatest athletes of all time, 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go nowhere. Let's get those likes up. Let's get those views up. I want everybody in here watching and listening in on this shit. So if you ever go out there and you have a debate any time in your life, you can say, you know what? I know for a fact that MJ, Michael Jackson, the real MJ, is the greatest MJ of all times. You know what I'm talking about? Number 1 on ESPN's 74 NBA players, players of the NBA of all times, 2020. Number 1, The Athletics, top 75 players of all time, 2022. Number 1, Complex's top 30 best NBA players of all time, 2023. Yahoo Sports, number 1, greatest living men's basketball players of all time, 2024. Number 1, Clutch Points, 25 greatest male athletes of all time. He's number 1 on Give Me Sports, 50 greatest athletes of all time. He's number 1 on Clutch Points, top 50 best NBA players of all time, 2024. And he's number 1 on the Sports News, top 10 NBA basketball players of all times. So he's always been number 1, number 2, number 1, number 2, and on all these different magazines. Okay, yeah, whoop-de-doo. All right. Let's go to now we're starting his life now. Let's go to his middle school achievements. Middle school, Dixie Youth Association, Mr. Basketball, 1975, 13-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old league. You know what I'm talking about? He was being Mr. Baseball, Little League Baseball Championship. He helped his team win the championship. In 1975, he was the Little League MVP that year, 1975, the year I was born in, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm talking about? The year of our Lord, the year of your boy, the year of your cousin. You know what I'm talking about? My guy, 1975. Trask Middle School Outstanding Athlete of the Year, 1977. All right, you go somewhere, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, MJJ. You understand me? Let's go and get on to high school. University of North Carolina Basketball Camp, 1980, ladies and gentlemen. 5-star Basketball Camp, Pittsburgh, 1980. Co-most outstanding player. This was all in 1980, ladies and gentlemen. Session 1 MVP, 1980. 2-time All-Star Game MVP, 1980. Orange White Classic MVP, 1980. 1-on-1 Championship, 1980. 5-on-5 Championship, 1980. Scoring Championship, 1980. Scoring, 1980. Averaged a double-double in the senior season, 1981. 26.8 points a game, 11.6 rebounds, 10 assists per game. All right, go on, Michael Jordan. 1981. I almost said Michael McDonald's. Oh, that's another Michael McDonald, ladies and gentlemen, the Doobie Brothers. I keep forgetting of nothing love anymore. Y'all know who I'm talking about. All right, that's a bad rendition. But so McDonald's Capital Classic All-Star Game, 1981. McDonald's All-American, 1981. Parade All-American First Team, 1981. Knoxville News Sentinels, number 4 ranked high school player in 1981. Selected in 2012 as one of the 35 greatest McDonald's All-Americans of all times. Selected in 2013 as one of the SAA 100 top male athletes of all times. The number 21 retired by Emsley A. Laney High School. U.S. Today's top 25 greatest high school players of all time. He had an honorable mention. Okay, so he's not the greatest high school player of all time. That would be reserved for a LeBron or a Kareem. You know what I'm talking about? That was in 2024. Let's get off into college. See, now we're getting funky with it. Let's get into college. So the NCAA National Championship. Okay, the University of North Carolina, 81-82. I remember that. I actually saw the fucking game with my dad. I remember that shit. You niggas is too young. Fall back right quick. Let cook right quick. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah. So you know what I'm saying? He was a participant, you know, in that on that team, whatever. Helms Foundation National Champion, 81-82. 1982 ACC Tournament Champions. 3-time ACC Regular Season Champions, 81, 82, 83. 82, 83, 84, excuse me. They were undefeated, okay? I remember that. Two-time National College Player of the Year, 83 and 84. That's a consensus. That's what the consensus said. Two times the Sporting News College Player of the Year, 83, 84. Naismith College Player of the Year, 83, 84. John Wooden Award, 1983-84 season. AP College Player of the Year, 83-84 season. All these are going to be 83-84 seasons until I say it's not. Okay? NABC Player of the Year. UPI College Basketball Player of the Year. USBWA College Player of the Year. Adolph F. Rupp Trophy, 1983-84. Two times consensus First Team All-American. This once again, 83-84. Two-time AP First Team All-American. Two-time Sports News First All-American. Two-time UPI First All-American. Two-time NABC First Team All-American. Two-time USBWA First Team All-American. Okay, those were all 1983-84 seasons. Okay, ACC Athlete of the Year, 1984. ACC Men's Basketball Player of the Year, 1984. ACC Rookie of the Year, the 1981-82 season. Two-time All ACC First Team. Okay, two-time All ACC First Team again. Tournament First Team. Two-time All CCA Tournament Second Team. All NCAA Tournament 1982. All NCAA Tournament Team 1982. Okay. NCAA Tournament East Region Team 1983. Freshman All-American Team 1982. ACC Points Leader 1982-83 season. ACC Scoring Leader 83-84 season. 1980s NCAA Tournament All-Decade Team. 1980s NCAA AA Tournament Team of the Decade, North Carolina. NCAA Tournament All-Time Team. AC 50th Anniversary Team. And the Tar Heels, retired to number 23. Named the greatest ACC athlete of all times. ACC athlete of all times in 2003, excuse me. Selected as one of the top 15 players in NC tournament history in 2012. He's number 18 on Clutch Points Top 25 greatest college basketball players of all time. ESPN College Greatest Basketball Time Bracket Champion in 2020. Round of 64. Round of 64. I don't know what that is. That's something else. All right, let's go ahead and get off into the fun stuff. That shit was boring. Let's go and get off into the personal achievements. You know what I'm saying? Hall of Fame inductions. He was inducted into the Madison Square Garden Walk of Fame. Two-time Naismith Memory Basketball Hall of Fame inductee. Class of 2009 individual. Class of 2010 as a member of the Dream Team. United States Olympic Hall of Fame. Class of 2009 as a member of the Dream Team. North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame. Class of 2010. Two-time FIBA Hall of Fame inductee. Class of 2015 as an individual. Class of 2017 as a Dream Team member. Now let's get off into this punk-ass NBA achievements. Fuck you, Michael Jordan. You know what I'm talking about? With that being said, 6-time NBA champ, 91, 92, 93, 96, 97, and 98. Way to go, motherfucker, you. You know what I'm talking about? 5-time NBA most valuable player in the 89, 91, 92, 96, and 98. 3-time runner-up, 87, 89, and 97. 6-time finals MVP. 91, 92, 93, pretty much all the years I won a goddamn championship, pretty much. Yeah, so what? Fuck you. All right, 10-time scoring champ. 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 95, 96, 97. Yeah, fuck him. So, 11-time points leader. That's 85, 87, 85, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 95, 96, 97, and 98. NBA Defensive Player of the Year. I think that's the one time he won it. NBA Defensive Player of the Year was the 87-88 season. And he was a runner-up in 92-93. I think that year, I can't remember who might have won it. Was it Barkley or Rodman, one of those guys. A power forward won that motherfucker, I think. He was the Rookie of the Year in 1984, of course. And 1984 had a crazy draft class. Barkley was a part of that class, ladies and gentlemen. Go back and look at the 1984 draft class. That motherfucker was sick. 14-time NBA All-Star. He was in 85, 86. He was injured that year. 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 96, 97, 98, 2002, and then 2003, of course, when Vince Carter gave up, relinquished his and give it to him. So it was really 13 and a half because Vince Carter pretty much gave up his spot so he can get in. Michael Jordan was retiring. 3-time NBA All-Star most valuable player, 88, 96, and 98. 2-time slam dunk champion, 87 and 88, of course. He was a runner-up in 85, but he got blew off the fucking floor. You know what I'm talking about, bitch? I'm talking about 3-time steals leader, 80, 88, 90, and 93. He ran up 2 times, 87 and 89. 2-time minutes leader, 88 and 89. 3-time minutes played leader, 87, 88, 89. 9-time win shares leader, 87 all the way to 97, pretty much. There was really no skipping between there except 94. Of course, he wasn't playing in 94. 2-time runner-up was 85 and 98. 7-time PER leader. You know what I'm saying? 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93. And then he was a runner-up in 85, 96, and 97. 9-time box plus minus leader. 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 96, and 97. Runner-up 84 and 85. 84-85 season. IBM award winner, 85 and 89. 11-time NBA, all NBA selection. 10-time first team and 1-time second team, 1985. 9-time all defensive selection. 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 96, 97, 98. NBA all rookie selection, first team, 1985. NBA 1980s all decade first team. NBA 1990s all first decade team. Selected as the 1996 greatest players of history. Greatest players in NBA history. Selected in 2021 as to the NBA 75th anniversary team. Selected in 2006 to the greatest moment in playoff history. Jordan jokes to Jazz in Game 6. That's when he shook the hell out of Byron Russell. I think that's the one they're talking about. Number 10. These are greatest moments. Number 10, God disguised as Michael Jordan. Number 17, the MJ flu game, which was bullshit. Nigga wasn't sick. Now I'm talking about he got fucked up drunk. It was high, and that nigga didn't want to play, but he had to play it anyway. Now I'm talking about number 20 on his greatest moments in history. The game winner over Craig Elo when Craig Elo played for the Cavs. Number 22 was when he hit the 3-pointer against the Blazers. I don't know why they put that up there, but whatever. He switched his hands on the Lakers. That's the number 41 memory of all times. I guess that's number 41 on that list. Okay. Okay. Selected in 96 as 2 of the top 10 NBA teams in history. The 91-92 Chicago Bulls, they had a record of 67-15. And then the 95-96 Chicago Bulls, the 72-10 team. Okay, 25-time player of the week, 16-time player of the month, 3-time NBA rookie of the month, NBA 30,000 point career trophy, retired the number 23 by the Chicago Bulls. The Miami Heat retired number 23. I don't know why the fuck they retired his number. He didn't play for the goddamn Heat. Unless he would play in a parallel world or something like that. Chicago Bulls Ring of Honor in 2024. NBA MVP was renamed Michael Jordan Trophy in 2022. So these are his accomplishments. Okay. His USA national team accomplishments. Undefeated USA national team record 30-0. 3-time basketball male athlete of the year 83-84 with Sam Perkins. And then in 1992 with the Olympic team. The Pan American Games got the gold medal, 1983. Pan American Games most outstanding player, 1983. 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 84 and 92. FIBA American Championship gold 1992. Selected in 2023 as one of the 75 greatest athletes in Pan American Games history. Okay, let's go through some other awards that he might have gotten in his lifetime. Two-time Seagram's Basketball Player of the Year, Gordon's Gym Black Athlete of the Year, La Equipe champion of champions, TWS Sportsman of the Year, two-time Milliette Sports Athlete, World Athlete, United States Sports Academy Male Athlete of the Year, three times Victor Award NBA Player, Marca Legend Award, Naismith Good Sportsmanship Award, Jackie Robinson Award, the World Athlete Basketball Century Award, Morning Consult Greatest Athlete of All Times Award 2023, Life Magazine's Greatest Athlete of All Time, Brisbane's Greatest Athlete of All Time, Mirror Review Greatest Athlete of All Time, the Harris Poll two-time Greatest Athlete of All Time in 2015 and 2009, Slam Magazine Greatest Player of All Time, Slam Magazine's Greatest Team of All Time, the 96-95 Bulls, 95-96 Bulls, Sports Magazine Greatest Player of half the century from 1946 to 1996, Sports Magazine's Greatest Player of the last 50 years from 46 to 96, Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year 1991, nine-time Sports Illustrated NBA Player of the Year, Sports Illustrated Athlete of the Decade 1990s, the Most Dominant Player of the Decade 1990s, and Sports Illustrated Basketball Athlete of the Century 1999. The Associated Press, three-time AP Athlete of the Year, Athlete of the Decade, Athlete Player of the Century, AP All-Decade First Team, AP 90s All-First Decade Team. Sports News, seven-time Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year 1985 Sports News, 1980s All-Decade, and 1990s All-First Decade First Team. Okay, those are his awards. ESPN, six-time Male Athlete of the Year, American Athlete of the Year. Okay, then he got five-time Sports Poll Male Athlete of the Year. Okay, the ESPY Awards. God damn, this nigga. Okay, Best Male Athlete of the Award, 1993, nominee three times. Four times Best NBA Player. Best Comeback Athlete of the Year, 1996, of course. Everybody was anticipating him coming back. Dramatic Individual Performance in 1998. NBA Player Play of the Year, 1993. ESPY's Decade Awards. He has four of those. Okay, seven times Basketball Digest magazine. Okay, Bleacher Report has them 80s and 90s All First Decade Team. SB Nation 80s and 90s All First Decade Team. Fansided All Decade Team 80s and 90s. You know what I'm saying? He got 1, 2, 3, 4. He got 13 altogether. 13 Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards. How the fuck did he do that? Six-time NBA 2K Cover Athlete. 2011, 2K12, 2K16, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan Special Edition, 2K23, MJ and the Championship Editions, and 2K Mobile. All right. NBA 2K 80s All-Stars Team, 90s All-Stars Team, 2K highest rated player. NBA Live Legends Teams, NBA All-Star, 90s. 80s, he was a starter on both squads. Okay, those are all his achievements. Okay, those are his on-court achievements. All right, let's go to some of his off-court achievements. I know, y'all, I'm almost done. I know this shit is boring, but listen to me. This is what keeps the minutes going on the show. Okay, his notable achievements, we all know that he's, he got 5% royalty in the Jordan brands since 1984. You know what I'm saying? The signature Air Jump, the Jumpman logo was created, of course, at that time. He's co-owner of Michael Jordan Nissan. He's co-owner of and founder of Michael Jordan Steakhouse. You know what I'm saying? He was a minority owner in the Washington Wizards, and then he became player of basketball operations in 2000 to 2001. Then he became he was a founder of Michael Jordan Motorsports. That company doesn't exist anymore. Then he became a minority owner of the Charlotte Hornets in 2023. Former majority owner from 2010 to 2023. He was the first ever NBA player to become a billionaire. Of course, not while he was playing the game, but just being an NBA player, he became a billionaire. Minority owners in the Miami Marlins. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of like the G League for baseball. You know what I'm saying? He's co-owner and founder of Sincaro Tequila. Minority owner in DraftKings. I didn't know that. I didn't know that nigga had part ownership in DraftKings. I did not know that. And then he's also a special advisor, founder and owner of 23X1 Racing. Okay, 23X1 Racing. First athlete to appear on the Forbes 400 list in 2023. I did know that. He got the Michael Jordan Family Medical Clinic, 4 locations in North Carolina. Let's see. Then he got the Boys and Girls Awards, and then he got the honor, then he got the Gold Plate Award, then he got the Jackie Robinson Award, and he got the yada, 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 and all these other awards nobody give a fuck about. Then he got the Last Dance documentary, outstanding documentary series and all of that shit, and yada, 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 and blah, 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 blah. Okay? He got tributes. He got, he got a couple tributes. He got a few statues. He got a statue in Washington, D.C. He has a wax figure in Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? He has a statue named in his honor at the United States Sports Academy. You know, talking about they renamed his high school gymnasium in Wilmington, North Carolina, to the Michael Jordan Gymnasium at the Michael Jordan Sports Complex. Okay, he got a bunch of things. He got 7-mile section of Interstate 40 in New Hanover County, North Carolina, named the Michael Jordan Freeway. 7 miles, this motherfucker got a goddamn freeway. This just sounds great, but it still ain't nothing compared to what I'm getting ready to show y'all. Now, I'm talking about he got Michael Jordan Restaurant in Chicago. They was open 6 years. They closed down. Food was nasty as a motherfucker. I've been to that motherfucker. I'm talking about statue of Michael Jordan outside of the United Center. And that's Michael Jordan, ladies and gentlemen. So as you can see, it's easy to see why he's one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But ladies and gentlemen, that fails in comparison to my guy, your guy, my goddamn spiritual uncle, Michael Joseph Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. But before I continue, let me go ahead and get into the comments right quick. Let me get into the comments before I go to Michael Jackson stuff. Let's go ahead and get into the comments. Let me go back up, see what I missed. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Cuba said, Major, you got to add Shawn Michaels. He is a GOAT. Shawn Michaels. Maybe I should do the most important Shawns in the world. You know what I'm talking about? So, yeah, definitely Shawn Michaels. Yeah, he's a GOAT in wrestling history. He is. Sweet Chin Music looking ass. Hell Rail said, stick with me, y'all. Don't go to sleep on me. H. Davis says, what's up, Twan? Says, thank you. For whoever sub. Yeah, thank y'all for subbing, man. Whoever subbing, please continue to do so. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys having fun over here. I hope you guys are learning some things. I just gave y'all a big rundown for about 40 goddamn minutes of this nigga. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna take me that long with Michael Jackson because I'm gonna get right to the points. Hellrell said Kareem over Jordan. Yes, my sentiment exactly. You know what I'm talking about? Bandwagon said, to me, Chris Brown's the second greatest entertainer of all time. Yeah, I'll let the new generation argue amongst that, but Michael Jackson is definitely hands down. Chris says, these niggas like Usher carrying Cherry and shit. Michael didn't have to use that and still making them go crazy. Yes, indeed. H. Davis says, Cuba, stop it. Prince is after Michael Jackson. Yeah, that can be argued. Prince is. Cuba says, Chris Brown literally does everything. Yeah, but he don't have the appeal that Michael has. Let's just keep it a band. There he is. Rated for reviews. That's DJ once again hiding on his other account. We know who you is, brother. You ain't slick. We know that's DJ. Hey, please go over there and subscribe to Rated R for Reviews. That's his movie and TV show review channel. Please go over here and do so right now, man, because H. Davis is up here, and y'all don't want H. Davis to, you know what I'm saying, get caught up. Cuzzo said, what, DJ? What up, DJ? Malik Monk extended, Cuzzo. Malik Monk extended. Oh, wow. Can't say I'm surprised. You know what I'm talking about? H. Davis says Michael Jackson was nobody when he was younger. Not yet, not at that point. But he quickly, I'll say his first two. Well, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. The bandwagon. My dad and Michael Jordan was literally born on the same day, the same year, February 17th, 1963. That's crazy. So your dad is the GOAT too, one of the GOATs too. Go ahead and send your dad up here. You know what I'm talking about? So we can give him some praise. You know what I'm talking about? Cuzzo said, you would think a guy that looked at the greatest hooper of all times, that he would start off that way. Jordan allegedly wasn't the best in his high school or college team until Worthy left. That is facts, cuzzo. That is facts. And everybody knows that shit. Now talking about the bandwagon. That is some ultra glazing. Miami, he retired his jersey and he never played for them. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Cuzzo, Cuba. They did that because Bill was about to get his jersey retired league wide, and his fanboys was like, "What about Mike?" Just literal fanboys glazing everywhere. Yep, exactly. You know what I'm talking about? And then Goat James says that Washington statue is just ultimate glazing. Yeah, why the fuck they give him a statue? He only played for the niggas for 5 mediocre ass years. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, so now that I've caught up in the comments, once again, y'all, before I go any further, please, if you're coming in, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, man. I'm telling you, I see I only got 2 viewers. I don't like that shit. H. and Davis, get there, do your job, man. Get these niggas to come back in. Stop horsing around, y'all. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? See, we got to be more than just talking about basketball. We got to talk about other things too. We got to open our minds to other things and listening to other shows and stuff like that. I know we spoiled and want to hear about basketball and football and hockey and soccer all the time, but man, this is goddamn American history. This is something to talk about. You understand what I'm saying? So get on in here and start getting those views. There we go. 4 views, man. Stop horsing around with me. Now talk about acting like y'all don't know me, acting all brand new. So before I lull y'all to sleep, let me go ahead and get off into my GOAT's achievements. Now, when I say Michael Jackson is my GOAT, he's the greatest. He's my greatest anything of all times, bro. This dude, he's transcended. And I've had the pleasure of meeting Michael Jackson a couple times in my life, but before I get off into his achievements, the first time I met Michael Jackson was right after he purchased Neverland Ranch. He purchased it from a construction guru named Michael Bone. He purchased it back in 1988. Okay, we didn't get a chance to make it to the grand opening or whatever the case may be. We wanted to go. During that time, my mother, aside from being a counselor at that time, she was a counselor. Aside from being a counselor and a drug and behavioral counselor, she drove buses for LAUSD. That's Los Angeles Unified School District. She drove for them, and she was touted as one of the bus drivers to drive for the 1984 and 1980 Olympics. So she drove for 3 Olympics. She drove for the 76, the 1980, and the 1984 Olympics. And at that time, the President Ronald Reagan had gave her and the other bus drivers just around the country commemorative medals for all the bus drivers. And the school bus drivers would transport students to and from school, of course, and then the Museum of Science and Industry next to USC's campus, they would escort them over to the museums and stuff, and escort them over to Laker games and Clipper games. You know, the sports arena was right there. Clippers played at the sports arena at that time. Then that's when the Raiders were still there and everybody was there. So she was one of the excellent bus drivers for her field or whatever the case may be. And Ronald Reagan gave all the bus drivers commemorative medals, and she also got a 1984 commemorative gold Olympic medal. Still have them to this day. Mom's is deceased now, but she has the Ronald Reagan commemorative medal, and then she has her 1984 Olympics gold medal. She has an 84 Olympics gold medal. I don't know where the other medals are, but I still have the ones in my possession of what she got from the year 1984. So she met a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? She was able to meet a lot of people. She got around. She would drive all through Hollywood and stuff like that. That's how she ended up meeting the Jackson family. At this time, they were living at Havenhurst. You know what I'm saying? Before Michael Jackson bought Neverland Ranch, he was living at Havenhurst. I do patrols over there to this day now. Sometimes I patrol around the ranch. Okay, so we didn't get a chance to. She was invited to come up. She was actually one of the people that were invited to come up to Neverland Ranch in the opening, or when he had the opening, 1988. 89. We didn't get a chance to go until 89. So that year, 1989, Moms took us up there. She took me and my brothers up there, a couple of the neighborhood kids up there, took us up there in the van, and we went to Neverland Ranch. My first time ever on Neverland Ranch's soil. It was 1989, ladies and gentlemen. And I didn't see Michael Jackson up close and personal, but he was on a balcony the whole time. He was actually there. He talked to the people. He had a bullhorn. It was fucking, he had llamas and alpacas and shit walking around that motherfucker. A damn train that nobody was on was going around and fucking, it was crazy. It was crazy. He had waterfalls and shit and fucking trees and fake monkeys hanging in front. That boy, it was crazy. And he came outside and he was on a bullhorn. He came outside. And he had it was like a gold, red, and black, like royal robe on. And the motherfucker dragged the floor. You could see it was just like he was just, even then, 1988, 89. He came up. And it's like when he came outside, he walked up. He had some handlers up there, but he walked up to he walked up to the railing or whatever the case may be on his balcony, and he was just in the softest voice. Hello, children. Are you enjoying yourselves? We have cotton candy machines, and we have rides, and we have a small roller coaster, and there's a Ferris wheel, and we have, don't mind the animals. You can pet them, and they won't bite. And he was just a gentle soul, man. That's what I remember as a child, man, seeing that. I was a teenager then. But that was my first time seeing Michael Jackson. The next time I saw Michael Jackson, next couple of times I saw him in passing. Okay, I saw him at Ralph's one time on Rodeo. There used to be a Ralph's on Rodeo. It's something else now. On Rodeo and La Brea, there was a Ralph's right there. All the Lakers were famous for being in that area. All the famous stars, Stevie Wonder would be down there. Michael Jackson would be down there. A bunch of James Brown, all kind of people. Everybody. When you came to LA, that was like Crenshaw up in that area was like the best place to be. You know what I'm saying? There was a Ralph's on the corner of Rodeo and Crenshaw, not La Brea, Rodeo and Crenshaw, and it was a big fish market there. Everybody used to go to, and we seen him in passing. He had two body doubles out there, and it was himself, and he was in a fish market. Now this is what I saw, my own two eyes. He was in a fish market, right, and the two people that he had posing as him looked so much like him that all the paparazzi and everybody, all the fans was following those two dudes. And then they split up. They got into two different vehicles and leaving the real Michael Jackson in the fish market with a few guys with him. He had a couple bodyguards with him. But I knew that was the real Michael Jackson. I knew it was the real Michael Jackson. It wasn't a decoy, because one thing about it, at that time, I already knew. He was a master of disguise, y'all. If y'all want to understand how great of a disguise this guy was, go look at his short movie, Ghosts. He played the mayor in that town, a white man. And I swear to God, if you didn't know Michael Jackson, you could not tell if that was him. But fans like myself knew that was him. And then we got confirmation because one of the guys that was with him was like, he doesn't want to be disturbed. So that nigga wanted to get some fish in peace, yo. Michael Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, another time I saw him at a Kentucky Fried Chicken in Hollywood, North Hollywood. Okay, but this was him. He wasn't trying to be in disguise or anything. It was him and his sister, LaToya. LaToya, a lot of people don't know, but LaToya was staying in Compton, not too far from where I live now. She was staying in Compton. And we know that for a fact because Michael Jackson had a small studio over here in Compton. A lot of people don't know that. See, when you work in the type of field that I work in, you become privy to all kind of shit. You meet all kind of people. You know a bunch of different people. You see a bunch of different things. So you become privy to certain information. So yeah, his sister lived in Compton. I don't know. She might still live over here for all I know, but I know she lived in Compton. Michael would visit. He would visit the area all the time. There used to be a skating rink right there on Central in Compton, right there on Central down the street from Centennial High School. There used to be a skating rink back there in the 80s, and they ended up taking it down. NWA used to perform up there. I'm just naming all kind of shit I remember. So those were the couple times that I seen Michael Jackson, just in passing. Okay. When I saw Michael Jackson for the first time up close and personal, I was a grown man. And let me tell you, I said all that to say this. Chris said earlier in the comments that grown men and women would lose their shit over this dude. Listen, y'all, I ain't never really been starstruck in my life, and I've been around stars for 30 goddamn years doing the business I do. Let me tell you, if I see a star now, I'd be like, oh shit, there goes 50 Cent. Oh my God, there goes Bruce Willis. Oh, okay, there goes John Travolta. I see these niggas all the goddamn time. But I don't give a fuck how many times I've seen Michael Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. As tough of a nigga as I am, man, I almost cried like a fucking baby when oh my God, I started sounding like him. Michael, oh my, Mike, it's me, Major. I was at Neverland Ranch, when I was 13, 14 years old. Michael, big ass arms and big muscular ass. Michael, like, I'm telling you, I turned into a little kid, bro. I'm 35 goddamn years old or some shit. I turned into a little motherfucking kid when I seen that nigga, man. I seen Michael Jordan, man. But you see, Michael Jackson? Michael Jackson could have told me to do anything. I would have did it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, nigga, go fetch me some ice cream. Yeah, yes, sir. What flavor? Butter pecan, cookies and cream. Right away, Michael. What you want, Rocky Road? Here, you can have my ice cream. Here, take my credit card. Hey, Michael Jackson, man. Like, this is Mike, bro. So, so just a little story. I got more stories, of course, but I'm not here for that. So let's go ahead and break down Michael's career, man. You know what I'm saying? He started singing when he was about 11 years old. He really came into the forefront as part of Jackson 5 when he did the song "I Want You Back." You know what I'm saying? When he did that in 1970, we knew he was, well, not we, but the world knew that he was something special. He was 11 years old. Now, side note, back in the day, Susan DePass, the person who kind of worked with them, she kind of managed them for Berry Gordy, asked that the Jacksons lie about their age, mainly in particular Michael Jackson. And if you go back and watch the Michael Jackson movie, the Jackson movie, The American Dream, remember the part where Susan DePass, played by Vanessa Williams, with her fine ass, said that she kind of forced them to change their age to make them be more appealing. It was more appealing for him to act like he was 8 years old than to act like he was 11 years old. Well, that was true. But the truth of the matter is he was 11 years old, according to birth certificates at that time. But he was able to pass off as an 8, 9-year-old. So just a little sidebar. And the reason why they used to do that in the music industry, for what I understood, is because it was better appeal. See, it all kind of started with Frankie Lyman and the teenagers. When Frankie Lyman was, a certain age or whatever, he just seemed more cute. He seemed like America's sweetheart. He appealed more to the child population, the teenage population. But then when he became of age, when he started, hitting puberty, he got into an age where his voice would change and stuff like that. So that's why they kind of had to, make that habit to change their ages a little bit to make them appear or appeal to a certain audience for a longer time, until people started catching on and realizing, hey man, this motherfucker ain't 8 years old and he been out here for 5 years. It ain't got to be 13, 14 by now. So just as a side note, so Michael Jackson started his career at 11 years old. Okay. 1982, Thriller comes out. I'm skipping his records and all of that. 1982, Thriller comes out. And to this day, ladies and gentlemen, it remained on the top Billboard 200 album chart. And it remained up there for 37 weeks, setting the world record for the longest run at the #1 studio album of all times. It is only one of 5 albums to have sold more copies in the United States than in the United States in any other 2 separate years topping the sales charts for 1983 and 1984. So the Thriller album topped sales charts in 2 separate years. Top sales charts in 1983 and in 84. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, some great albums came out in those years, but they wasn't fucking with Thriller. I'm telling you. That's just what I'm telling you. And I'm talking about Thriller is currently right now, as we speak, 2025, is currently the second best-selling album of all times. The only album of all times is greater than that is the Eagles album. You know what I'm saying? Eagles is one of the greatest groups of all time. There's just no discussion about that. Okay, 1987, Bad. That remained top 5 on the Billboard 200 for 38 weeks, setting the record by the longest run at a top 5 by an album from a male solo artist. That set the I don't think that record's been broken yet. That was 1987, Bad, one of my favorite albums of all times. In 2009, Michael Jackson's number ones, Essential Michael Jackson and Thriller, claimed the top 3 positions in Billboard's top pop catalog albums and top 10 comprehensive album charts in the weeks following his death. So, I mean, that's just to start. And in music, it's way harder to achieve that kind of success in music than it is to achieve the success that you are able to achieve in sports. All you got to do is put the goddamn ball in the hoop or stop somebody from putting the ball in the hoop. But you got competitors out there. In the 80s, man, you had Prince, Madonna, Janet Jackson came later on, Whitney Houston. You had all kind of motherfuckers. Then you still had 70s star artists still putting it down in the 80s, like Teddy Pendergrass and Barry White and all. And then here come Michael Jackson. Then you had Terrence Trent D'Arby. Here come Michael Jackson blowing these niggas off the map every goddamn year, bro. You could say he ruled the 80s. From 79 off the wall to 89, that nigga ruled it. And then here come Bobby Brown, the king of New Jack. And, you know, guys like that, I'll be sure, and all these guys. But that motherfucker ruled the 80s, man. Like, he had a 10-year stretch unlike no other stretch in history. Now I'm talking about, Michael Jackson was the first artist to launch 7 top 10 singles off of one album. Wait, hold on. Let me go back, ladies and gentlemen. This motherfucker is the first artist to launch 7 top 10 singles off of one fucking album. Do you know how hard it is to do that? Sometime a nigga get an album and he might have one number 1 hit off that motherfucker. He had 7 of those son of a bitches. Michael Jackson has 28 Guinness World Records. Let me say that again for those who ain't listening to me. He has 28 Guinness World Records. Michael Jackson's Bad album is only one of 2 albums where 5 singles off one album topped the Billboard 100. 5 singles, and I can name those 5 singles. I don't even want to go there, but I can name those 5 singles off the Bad album that topped the Billboard Hot 100. Jackson became the first recording artist to land the number 1 single in 3 decades. Landed number 1 single in all 3 decades. With Black or White, it topped the Billboard Hot 100 in December 1991. His first number 1 single was Ben. It topped the Billboard Hot 100 in October 1972 when he was 14 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Jackson had more number 1 singles than any recording artist in the 80s with 9 singles. Let me say that shit again. He had more number 1 singles than any other recording artist in the 1980s with 9 singles. And ladies and gentlemen, it ain't even close because the next person that was in that line was 3. It ain't close. Michael Jackson's You Are Not Alone, that was produced by R. Kelly, written and produced by R. Kelly, made him the first artist to have a song to debut atop the Billboard Hot 100 in September 1995. He was the first artist to hit the Billboard Top Hot 100 in 1995. Jackson holds the record for the longest span of number 1s by a male act in the Billboard Hot Top 100 with a span of 25 years and 7 months. For 25 years and 7 months, he's held the longest record. The record for the longest span of number 1s by a male artist. That's fucking stupid. Jackson has 13 number one hit singles on Billboard's Hot 100, making him the male artist with the most number one hits in the Hot 100 era, including pre-Hot 100. Jackson follows only Elvis for most number ones by by a male artist, and he ranks fifth overall. He ranks fifth overall. That's crazy. All the singers that's come through this world, that nigga's fifth. That's crazy. In those number ones. This is the pre-Hot era, y'all. Mind you. Jackson has 30. He has 30 top 10 singles on the Billboard Hot 100. 30. That's alongside Drake, Madonna, the Beatles, and Rihanna. Drake, Madonna, the Beatles, and Rihanna have more. Of course, they're still going. He died in 2009. So there you have it. Jackson held a record for the longest span of top 40 singles on the Billboard Hot 100 in the span of 46 years and 8 months. So for 46 years and 8 months, got to be there, the debuting solo for that album. Got to be there, entering the charts November 6, 1971, and his posthumous duet with Drake, Don't Matter to Me, first charting in July 2018, which since has been broken by Elton John. It's just now been broken by Elton John. But he held that top position for 46 years, ladies and gentlemen. That's longer than Kareem held his scoring title. 46 years, yo. And it only just now got beaten by Elton John, who, of course, been on this earth longer and has lived longer than Michael Jackson. He's older than Michael Jackson and lived longer than Michael Jackson. So it took him all this time to beat that. That's crazy. Jackson is the only act to have top 10 hits on the Billboard Hot 100 across consecutive decades. 10, ladies and gentlemen, top 10. The 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s. That's 50 years. That's 5 decades, ladies and gentlemen. And 6 consecutive decades, including his work with the Jackson 5 from the 60s to the 2010s. That's crazy. When I Want You Back charted number 8 in 1969 in the Billboard Top 100. And then at the Grammys, Thriller earned Michael Jackson 7 Grammy Awards, with Jackson winning his 8th for contributing to the E.T. soundtrack. He was on the E.T. soundtrack. He the most won by any artist in a single year. That motherfucker won 8 Grammys in 1984. 8 in 1984. Jackson currently holds the record for the most wins by a male artist at the American Music Awards, the AMAs. He has 26 wins, ladies and gentlemen. That's unprecedented. He has 13 number one hits, spanning from 1972 to 1995 on the top 100 charts. He has 10 number one hits. He's top 10 hits. He has 28 top 10 hits, spanning from 1971 to the last song he did with Drake in 2018, posthumous song he did. He was already deceased at that point. He has 13 number one hits on Billboard and R&B from 1979, I Want to Rock With You, until 1995, You're Not Alone. Okay. His UK charts and achievements. Okay. He's considered the greatest UK artist of all time. And that nigga's an American artist. Get the fuck out of here. He's an American artist and he's considered the greatest UK artist of all time. That's ridiculous. This is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Jackson had 44 top 10 hits in the UK singles charts. Elvis has the most with 77, of course. Elvis has the most with 77. You know what I'm talking about? Michael Jackson's Thriller and Bad are the 2 of the biggest selling albums by solo artists in UK history. Let me go back and say that again. Thriller and Bad are 2 of the highest selling albums by a male artist in UK history, and he's an American artist, ladies and gentlemen. Besides Queen, only Queen, with the number 1st and the number 7th best-selling albums of all times, has multiple entries in the top 10. Jackson is the only artist to have 3 albums, Thriller, Bad, and number 1s, certified 10 times platinum or more in the UK. Let me say that again. He's going diamond. 10, anything past 10 is diamond, ladies and gentlemen. He's going diamond 3 times in the United Kingdom. Do you know how fucking hard that is to do? That motherfucker's going diamond 3 times in the United Kingdom. That's ridiculous. Bad was the fastest selling album in the UK with 350,000 copies during its first week of its release. Now it's number 11. No, but Bad came out in 1987. That's 38 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. It took the motherfucker all this time to catch up with him and drop him all the way back down to 11. That's still ridiculous. In the second week following his death, Jackson had 13 songs in the UK top 40, 5 albums in the top 10, including his top-selling album. He had 7 number one hits in the UK singles chart from 1981, One Day in Your Life, all the way to 1997, Blood on the Dance Floor, which is one of my favorite songs he ever put out. On the French chart, Michael has 4 diamond albums in France, ladies and gentlemen. Thriller, Bad, Dangerous, and a History album. He has 22 top 10 hits in the French top singles chart. He has 36 top 40 hits in the top 100 singles charts. That's crazy. Michael Jackson's French number ones. He had 8 number one hits. 8 number one hits in the top 100 chart. 8 number one hits from 83 to 2001. In the Spanish world, the Spanish records and achievements, he has 35 top 20 hits, top 20 singles charts of all times. He has 29 top hits in the top singles 20 charts of all time. So 35 in the top 20s and then 29 in the top 10s. That's crazy. That's crazy. He has 21 number one hits in the top 20 singles charts from The Girl Is Mine, 1983, the Earth Song, another one of my favorite songs. The Canadian charts, get this. Michael Jackson, an American artist. Michael Jackson is the highest selling Thriller. Michael Jackson's Thriller is the highest selling album in Canadian music history. That's rap, that's reggae, that's reggaeton, whatever fucking music genre you can dream about. This motherfucker has the top selling music album of all times in Canada, in history of all times in Canada, ladies and gentlemen. This motherfucker is an American artist. Are you guys starting to grasp what I'm selling y'all? This motherfucker is an American artist, and he sold more records than any artist in another country. I don't even think I want to keep going, bro. I'm gonna cry, and I don't cry for shit. I got stabbed in my goddamn knee, and that shit didn't hurt me as bad as this does. You know what I'm talking about? Jackson had 5 number one albums in Canada: Thriller, Bad, History, number ones, and this is it. Jackson had 3 singles that earned him 1 platinum certification. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this motherfucker got a Billie Jean Beat It and Say with him with Paul McCartney. These wasn't albums; these were individual songs, and they went platinum individually. Some niggas can't go platinum on a whole 16-song album. Do you understand how ridiculous this is? Should I keep going or should I stop? Somebody tell me in the comments, man, because I'm getting tired of this. Jackson had 29 top 20 hits on the top 50 singles chart. Jackson had 20 top 10 hits on the top 50s chart. Ridiculous. Jackson had 5 number one hits on the top 50 singles chart. In Australia, Jackson had 8 albums in Australia that earned him platinum or multi-platinum certifications. Off the Wall, Thriller, Bad, Dangerous, History, Invincible, number ones in the Essential Michael Jackson album. He had 27 top 20 hits in the top 100 singles charts. Jackson had 20 top 10 hits in the top 100 singles charts. He had 4 number one hits on the top 100 singles charts. Ben, it lasted 8 weeks. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough lasted 3 weeks. Billie Jean, 5 weeks. We Are the World. And then Black and White lasted 8 weeks. In the Norwegian charts, Jackson had 3 singles that earned him a gold certification. Norway, Earth Song, They Don't Care About Us, and You Rock My World. Jackson had 21 top 10 hits on the top 20 singles charts in Norway. In Norway, he had 5 number one hits on the top 20 singles charts. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. Say, I Can't Stop Loving You with Sadai Garrett, one of my favorite female artists of all time, very underrated. Please go look up her work. And all the way to 1991 Black and White album. In the Swiss charts, he had 24 top 10 hits on the top 100 singles chart. He had 21 top 10 hits on the top 20 singles charts. Hold on. The top 20 singles charts, but he had 21 top 10 hits. That's crazy. That means that nigga was 1 all the way to 20, and then he superseded that and went to 21. He was number 1 through 21 in the top. That's ridiculous. Michael Jackson had 4 number 1 hits in the top 100 singles charts. 4 number 1 hits. Billie Jean, 7 weeks. Black and White, 6 weeks. Earth Song, 4 weeks. We Are the World, 3 weeks. In New Zealand, he had 24 top 10 hits in the top 100 singles charts. He had 8 number 1 hits on the top singles charts, all the way from Don't Stop Till You Get Enough to Blood on the Dance Floor in 1997. In the Irish charts, Jackson had 70 chart-topping entries, 70 chart-topping entries on the top 100 singles charts. He had 10 number 1s on the top 100 singles charts. That's more than any other solo artist in the history of music in Ireland, ladies and gentlemen. That's fucking ridiculous. In Argentina, Thriller is the greatest best-selling English language album of all times. In Austria, that's where Arnold Schwarzenegger is from. Michael Jackson is the greatest. He's the greatest artist of all times. I get to the top of Michael. In Austria, Arnold Schwarzenegger's country, that motherfucking Thriller is the greatest selling album in all times in Austria, ladies and gentlemen. In China, Bad is the 3rd best-selling English album of all times, after The Lion King and the Titanic soundtracks. Ladies and gentlemen, let me go back to that one right quick. Bad, that's a long play album. That's an LP album by one artist. It's number 3 behind 2 fucking soundtracks. It took a soundtrack and a bevy of artists is on soundtracks. Not one person is on the soundtrack. A bevy of artists to get the number 1 and number 2 spots, and one single artist came behind that. So he's number 3rd in China for the best-selling album of all time. And you already know how many motherfuckers is in China. It's at least 2 billion people in China. You know what I'm talking about? In Denmark, Thriller is the 2nd best album of all times. The 2nd best album of all times in all of Denmark. Dangerous in Indonesia is the 2nd best-selling English album of all times after Westlife. In Israel, Thriller is the best-selling English album of all times. The best-selling album of all times in Israel. Mexico, as of 2022, Thriller is the best-selling album of all times in Mexico, ladies and gentlemen. These are other places. In the Netherlands, Thriller is the best-selling album of all times. In Singapore, Dangerous is the best-selling album of all time. That's his New Jack album. That's what Teddy Riley helped produce that one. Greg Phalanges and Rod Temperton. Sweden, Thriller is the best-selling album in all of Sweden, ladies and gentlemen, of all times. In Switzerland, Thriller is the best-selling album in all times, English or in their goddamn language. Okay? Michael Jackson has sold over 500 million records worldwide, and he is one of 3 recording artists. You get this, ladies and gentlemen, one of 3 recording artists, along with Paul McCartney and Phil Collins. I love and respect Phil Collins. I can feel it coming in the air now. Oh, Lord. Okay. And the first American artist to have sold over 100 million records worldwide, both as a solo artist and separately as a principal member of a band. So being a solo artist and being a band, he's one of 3 recording artists in history that has sold over 100 million records worldwide. Nobody else has done it. Not even y'all precious Beyonce. Fuck out of here. Ain't nobody close to this nigga. Jackson is the most successful entertainer in history. Let me go back and say that again. He's not one of the most, not top 5 the most, not top 10, not even top 3 or top 2. He is the most successful entertainer in American and world history, according to the Guinness Book of motherfucking World Records. The most watched performance of all times, the Super Bowl halftime show, and that was Super Bowl 27. The most watched music video of all times is Black or White. The most photographed person in the world was Michael Jackson in 1997. The most successful touring act of all times with the career sellout. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this number because I might have to shut up after this. The most successful touring act of all times with the career sellout rate. All his stadium sellout, 95, a whopping 99.5% of the time his shows sell out. Across all performed shows and holds the venue records for the most sellouts in Tokyo Dome 21 times, the Estadio Dome Azteca 5 times, Wembley Stadium. Have you ever been to Wembley? That motherfucker's huge. 15 times alone, with having sold the most tickets in Africa, 230,000 tickets sold. That blows every artist that you have ever known, every artist that I have ever known off the fucking map. Nobody's come close to selling that many tickets in Africa. The closest person sold many tickets in Africa behind him is 75,000. He sold almost over 3 times more than that, ladies and gentlemen. Stop horsing around with me. To date, Jackson is the first and only artist to have 5 of his solo albums sell over $20 million. Excuse me. Hold on, y'all. You know what? To date, let me calm down. To date, Michael Jackson is the first and only artist to have 5 solo albums sell over 20 million copies worldwide. That means that motherfucker bro, Off the Wall went 2 times diamond. 2 times diamond. That's 20 plus million. 2 times diamond. Off the Wall went. The 79 album, excuse me. Thriller, 7 times diamond. That's 70 million copies. Thriller has sold 70 million copies. 7 times diamond, ladies and gentlemen. Bad has sold 3.5 times diamond. 35 million. Dangerous, 3.2 times diamond. That's 32 million. History, past, present, and future has sold 2 times diamond. 2 times diamond. As a result, Jackson holds the record for the artist with the highest number of best-selling albums worldwide. Let me say that motherfucking shit again, ladies and gentlemen. Clean your goddamn ears out. Michael Jackson holds the record as an artist with the highest number of best-selling albums worldwide of all times. Thriller is the best-selling album of all times with sales of anywhere between 70 million to 100 million and still climbing, ladies and gentlemen. That's the killer part about it. The man has been alive. He was on this earth starting in 1958. You know what I'm saying? August 29th, 1958. He died in 2009. He's been gone for 15 years. And you mean to tell me that this motherfucker ain't nobody caught him yet? Ridiculous. Michael Jackson has sold the most studio albums in history with a total of 210 million across his 10 releases. Michael Jackson is the recipient of Artist of the Millennium Award and Artist of the Century. Artist of the Millennium and Artist of the Century. That means in the Millennium, Artist of the Millennium. Millennium, you already know, is centuries every 100 years. Ooh, what's a millennium? Every 1,000 years. Oh my goodness. Best-selling solo artist of all times as of 2000. Wow. Michael Jackson is the only person to, I don't want to keep going, but I'm going to keep going. Michael Jackson is the only act to ever have the first and second best-selling album of all time, 1991. Michael Jackson crowned Artist of the Millennium in a global poll. Artist of the Millennium in a global poll, beating out Leonardo da Vinci and Ludwig van Beethoven. These motherfuckers is 18th and 17th and 19th century motherfuckers, an artist and a classical music guy, and Michael Jackson beats these guys out. That's crazy. Jackson has been credited with supporting more charities than any other artist. 39 charitable organizations, either with monetary donations, through sponsorship, or their other projects, or participation in activities. Jackson's portrait, used in the Thriller cover, is cited as the most distributed portrait in history, in the photographing history. Get this, ladies and gentlemen. His Thriller album cover, the picture that you see on the Thriller album cover, is cited as the most distributed portrait in photography in history. That means it's been seen around the world more than Jesus poster, that fake poster of Jesus that we know Caesar Borgia painted, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X poster. That's the most famous poster in history. Michael Jackson is the highest paid commercial spokesperson ever. Pepsi Cola paid Michael Jackson $12 million to do 4 TV commercials in 1988. He got paid. That's $3 million a piece, ladies and gentlemen, for those of y'all that don't know math. Ain't nobody ever got paid that much in a damn commercial. And it probably won't ever happen again. The film rights, Gone with the Wind, with Clark Gable in 1939, the film rights were bought by Michael Jackson for $1.5 million in 1999. Wow, that's crazy. The Scream song, what he did with his sister Janet Jackson, was the most expensive video ever created, a music video ever made. It reportedly cost $7 million, but numbers say more upwards to like $20 million. 1997, Jackson was named the most famous person in the world. Guinness Book of World Records stated that he was the most famous human being up until his death. He was the most famous person in the world until his death in 2009. Michael Jackson was paid $34 million to perform one concert for the Sultan of Brunei, which is the most money ever allocated for a single performance. In 1991, the debut of his music video, Black or White, was broadcast simultaneously in 27 countries to the largest audience in music television history, and it had an estimated 500 million people around the world. Moonwalker was the best-selling VHS music video ever released. Moonwalker and the making of Michael Jackson's Thriller. I had both of them. Matter of fact, I still got them on VHS. Michael Jackson's World Bad Tour from 87 to 89 was the second highest grossing tour of the 80s, behind Pink Floyd's A Momentary Lapse of Reason tour, with the gross of $125 million. His 1996 History Tour grossed $165 million, becoming one of the top 5 highest grossing tours of the 1990s, and became the highest grossing concert tour to date. So, Michael Jackson's History Tour 1996-97 is the highest grossing concert tour right now. And that was 30 years ago when he did that tour. Close to 30 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. He had 2 of the highest grossing tours given by a solo artist. His Dangerous album, 32 million sold worldwide, has been cited as the top-selling New Jack album of all times. His Blood on the Dance Floor album, 6 million sales worldwide, is the biggest selling remix collection of all times. That was a remix album, ladies and gentlemen, and it still went platinum 6 times. That's fucking stupid. His double album, History, is the top-selling multi-disc album of all time by a male solo artist. That's including All Eyes on Me by Tupac, ladies and gentlemen. The largest internet broadcast of all times, 10 million viewers in 1999. Jackson was once the wealthiest artist in the world, with an estimated fortune of more than $750 million. In 2007, the estate assets were calculated to be $1.389 billion, with 85% of that total being Michael Jackson's stake in Sony ATV music publications. Song catalog includes the Beatles. He owned the right to the Beatles. Jackson had sizable debts that far outstripped his cash liquid total, which was just 0.5 of his net worth. That's what they say. Following his death, he became the first artist to sell 2 million downloads in a week. 2 million downloads in a week. That's crazy. Michael Jackson sold 35 million albums within the following year of his death, which was the most in SoundScan era. That's crazy. In 2010, Sony Music signed a $250 million deal with Michael Jackson's estates to retain the distribution rights of all his recordings until 2017, and they released 7 posthumous albums, some which will feature unreleased material over the next decade. So he still got material coming out, ladies and gentlemen, and I can attest to that because I have some songs from Michael Jackson nobody on this earth has, except motherfuckers that are close, that know, that have music in the vault somewhere, or whatever the case may be. I'll let y'all know sometime off camera or whatever how I was able to come across some Michael Jackson songs that might now be up on YouTube now, but like I said, I have material of Michael Jackson that motherfuckers ain't had. Nobody in my family has heard some of the shit I had. It's crazy. It's crazy. But that's what happened when you major. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? I'm famous in my own right. You know what I'm talking about? I'm known. You understand me? That's how we do it. Michael Jackson, This Is It, is top grossing documentary film of all times. So fuck your last dance documentary. Nigga, This Is It grossed more than that piece of shit documentary. You motherfucker, you. Michael Jordan, I'm talking to you, baby. It made $267.9 million. That was then. In today's world, in 2023, ladies and gentlemen, that's the equivalent of $380 million as of 2023 worldwide. It may even be more in 2025, and it's listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the highest grossing documentary film at a global box office. Okay? That's fucking crazy, man. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2024, Sony purchased half of Michael Jackson's music catalog, estimated at $600 million, which is proportionately equivalent or similar to the world's top sale of the British rock group Queen's 100% complete catalog at worth over $1.27 billion. That figure would estimate total musical asset valuation of Michael Jackson's around $1.2 billion. In music history, this is regarded as the largest deal ever made for a single musician, ladies and gentlemen. That means with Elvis in the world. That means with James Brown in the world, with Janet Jackson in the world, with all these great singers of all time in the world, Barry White, you name them, everybody, all these singers and artists and groups. This motherfucker is the greatest entertainer, the most influential entertainer, the best entertainer all across entertainment in the history of the world, ladies and gentlemen. And this world is way older than you or I. But in the history of the world, he's the greatest. He's probably one of the greatest human beings of all times. Now, of course, y'all know I have my Mount Rushmore of most influential people. I told y'all a couple streams ago. I said there are 7 people, 8. That's the most influential people I've ever known in my life, or have ever heard of in my life. Michael Jackson, Jesus, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, LeBron, Lewis, H. Davis, and DJ. Those are my 8 goats. Now I got a fucking monument in my backyard right now. Right now they're working on busts of Lewis, H. Davis, and DJ. I already got those other 5 guys I named up there, but right now we're working on portraits of Lewis, H. Davis, and DJ up to go on my 8 people Mount Rushmore. I know Mount Rushmore is supposed to have 4 people, but I got 8, ladies and gentlemen. You know, argue with your mama. Say that for a drama. Say that drama for Obama. So, ladies and gentlemen, now that y'all have heard it all the achievements of Michael Jordan versus all the achievements of Michael Jackson, ladies and gentlemen, it ain't fucking close. I deduced And I'm pretty sure the world deduces, unless you're too young to remember either of those guys, and you're thinking about Jordan's shoes. Michael Jackson is the greatest of the two Michaels, and it's not fucking close. Michael Jackson is the greatest of both Michaels, and it's not fucking close, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I deduce. Now, let me go up here to the comments, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go all the way to the comments. Let me go back. 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 Let me go. Let me go. Okay. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? African Gamer, my damn nephew. He said, salute, Unc. I'm saying, thank you for showing up to the channel, nephew. H. Davis was laughing at me. It must have been something I said. You know what I'm talking about? The bandwagon. AG, you interrupt me again, I'm getting your ass. The pause. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? He said, whoa, now hold on. Somebody go ahead and mute their mic. H. Davis, my cousin, met him in Gary, Indiana. I could believe you. I could believe that. You know what I'm saying? He not a hard dude to locate, but it was hard to get close to. I'll tell you that. H. Davis said, I'm from Michael Jackson hometown of Gary, Indiana. Yes, I remember you saying that, H. Davis. You know what I'm talking about? See, that's why that's why I told y'all. Because what he just said right there, see, goats come from Indiana. And then I just tell y'all that H. Davis is on my Mount Rushmore of most influential people in my life. Y'all don't have to agree with me. That's my guy. He don't have to be y'all guy. If he ain't y'all guy, that's not yours. But guess what? H. Davis is one of my motherfucking people when I'm feeling down. That's who I turn to. So fuck y'all if y'all don't agree. You know what I'm talking about? Go James says, hey, cuzzo, Mike Jackson was accepted by the cartel and them boys let Mike shoot a video wherever. Them boys would get on Jordan ass thinking he's thinking he is 50 or something. Yep, exactly. And I'm glad cuzzo said that. The East Coast Crips and the Bloods out here in particular, East Coast Crips and the Bloods out here in particular were cool with Michael Jackson. They allowed him to shoot a video, and they provided protection free of charge for him when he shot his video. The way You Make Me Feel video and a couple other videos. He was in he had real gangbangers and Beat It. He was good friends with Eazy-E. He's good friends with the Gangsta Disciples. Michael Jackson was well known and well respected all over this fucking planet by gangbangers, regular street people, and business people alike. Not everybody likes Michael Jordan, ladies and gentlemen. That alone, him being a man of the people makes him the greatest Michael Jackson of all alone. I didn't even have to say all the attributes and stuff like that, all the achievements and accomplishments. All I had to do was just say Michael Jackson was a better fucking human being. Michael Jackson will stop and shake a kid's hand. Stop and buy ice cream for the kid and sit there on the park bench and eat the ice cream with the kid. Michael Jordan say, fuck them kids. Buy my goddamn J's. They're coming out. Go kill each other over my J's. Stand in line. 450 people stand in line at the release of my new pair of J's that I don't give a fuck that you guys are killing each other over. So as a person, fuck Michael Jordan. As a player, he's one of the greatest players of all time. No doubt. But fuck him. Everybody I know, including my fucking dogs, if they had a chance to meet one of the two, they would say, I want to meet Michael Jackson. I don't want to meet that motherfucker. I sense the bad aura on him. He told Chameleonaire said, hey man, could you sign my jersey that he had just won an auction? He said, pay me to sign my jersey that you spent your money on. Fuck you, Jordan. Fuck you. You know what I'm talking about? So where I'm at, let me go back up here. Where we at? Okay. So, okay. H. Davis, he said what he said. Chris said what he said. I'm trying to catch up with y'all comments. Cuba said, that nigga Michael Jackson could have played Willy Wonka. Hey, that nigga was Willy Wonka. You know what I'm talking about? You're right about that. Cuzzo said, I will never stand for or tolerate any MJ slander. But Jordan asks, let the slander commence, you damn Skippy. H. Davis says, rest in peace, MJ, the real MJ, Michael Jackson. You know what I'm talking about? If y'all have not seen Michael Jackson's childhood home, y'all need to. I have been to his childhood home in Gary, Indiana. I have had the blessing to go there to visit. Ain't it like a museum or something now, or did they ever sell it to another person? Go James said, hell no. You know what I'm talking about? H. Davis says, till this day, people taking pictures of my Michael Jackson childhood home. Yep, that's true. African Gamer. Hey, Cuba, I'm going to get deep in your ass with some smoke. You keep talking, yay, 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 yay. I'm talking about Michael Jackson went to the school. He went to school with my family. H. Davis says that, ladies and gentlemen. He did. You know what I'm talking about? African Gamer said, my dad, as a kid, met met him when he was with the Jackson 5. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm trying to catch up. Met Michael Jackson. The Jackson 5, till this day, still had the Jackson 5 jerseys they would give people. Oh, just so y'all know, I don't know if y'all know this. Well, y'all wasn't born yet. But the Jacksons had a TV show in the 70s. The Jackson 5, they had a cartoon television program in the 70s. Niggas used to watch that shit every goddamn Saturday morning. Yeah, I'm talking about. My favorite Michael Jackson song is I'll Be There of all times. That's what H. Davis says. Now I'm talking about Michael Jackson, You Are Not Alone. Jordan he had to have a nigga sing about him. Jordan had to have a nigga sing about him. I Believe I Could Fly. Michael Jackson sung his own goddamn song. Damn, Drake can't outsell MJ in Canada. No, he cannot. H. Davis says, I don't like Beyonce. Me neither. That Super Bowl with Mike Jack, dude was standing there for like 5 minutes and everybody was going crazy. That nigga was that nigga. You better tell him, cuzzo. This nigga stood there like a motherfucking statue, didn't say shit. Like cuzzo said, for 5 minutes, over 5 minutes. And motherfuckers was going crazy. He could have left and motherfuckers still would have been screaming. You know how many times I'd have been to concerts and events that featured him. Sometimes he wouldn't even be there. It'll be a hologram of him on the stage. And people passing out. You know how many people went to the hospital, had heart attacks. People went home. You know how many babies was born off of this motherfucker? How many people died? Just to see him, to touch him, for him to flick sweat on you. Y'all better shut up about Mike, man. Y'all don't know. H. Davis says, big facts, Chris. Said Mike was that dude. Cuba said a band called the Eagles surpassed him a while back, I thought. Yeah, they did. The Eagles, the Eagles are, a very famous band, ladies and gentlemen. Please check out some of their music. Cuba, yeah, he mentioned that already. Yeah, I did mention that. Oh, wait, never mind. It still is Mike, but I remember it was said about 6 years ago that the Eagles surpassed him, but that was their greatest hit, but apparently that was a lie. Yeah. And even if that was the truth, that meant it would have took a group to pass one individual. That's ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. MJ is the GOAT, and he don't mean Michael Jordan. He means Michael Jackson. H. Davis says MJ is the GOAT. Chris said, those motherfuckers stole my nigga MJ money and want to blame it on that. Motherfuckers, that bastard Tommy Mottola. Yep, he's an evil motherfucking son of a bitch. You know what I'm talking about? And also that DA at Santa Barbara, out here in Santa Barbara in California. That motherfucker tried to set Michael up. Fucking Tom Sneddon. He actually made a song called Dumb Sneddon. Dumb Sneddon is a cold man. Somebody go look up. Dumb Sneddon is a cold man. He actually made a song about that motherfucker. Do you send letters to the FBI? Do you say that do you die? Dumb Sneddon is a cold man. I can't sing like him, but y'all get the point. You know what I'm saying? H. Davis says, I appreciate you, Uncle. I appreciate you too, nephew. You know what I'm talking about? No more love for the bandwagons. No love for the bandwagons. You know what I'm talking about? Cooper said that. Cuzzo said, them boys was guarding Mike Jack like the prayers. Yes. And let me tell you something. I wish I could have been on that detail. I heard Michael Jackson, he used to pay his personal bodyguards $1,000. Listen to this, y'all. He used to pay his personal bodyguards $1,000 per hour. This is what I heard personally. He used to pay his personal bodyguards $1,000 an hour. His bodyguards that was flanked on him. They called them his flankers. $1,000 an hour. Now look, ladies and gentlemen, I've made a pretty penny in my life guarding people the last 30 years. I'm not active anymore, but I still do that kind of work if need be. The most I have ever made in a single night of guarding somebody, the most I've ever made in a single night of guarding somebody was about maybe $15,000 in a single night. No matter how long it was, in a single night of guarding somebody, about 15 grand, a little bit more than maybe more than that. I'm just gonna say my base was 15 grand. This motherfucker paid his guards $1,000 an hour. Some of his guards were 24 hours a day. They never left him except when he went to sleep, he went to go shave, he went to go shit, he went to go shower, or he went to go fuck. Some of his guards got paid $60,000 to $70,000 a night. Woo! Y'all better stop fucking around, man. You know what I'm talking about? Cuba said, "Fuck them kids." You know what I'm talking about? In the words of in the voice of Michael Jordan. H. Davis said it's a museum now. Yes, it's a museum now. That's why I want to go visit. African Gamer, the GOAT. Drake is the GOAT. Y'all got to stop, man. You better knock it off. Don't come in here with that trolling shit, nephew. Don't come in here. You troll with that Austin Reeves bullshit. And guess what? This is different. This motherfucker's the undisputed GOAT of all time. Don't play with me. Don't play with him. You know what I'm talking about? We put those boxing gloves and go outside. H. Davis, you hear this? Drake ain't nowhere near the motherfucking GOAT. You better be trolling. Better be trolling. African Gamer. MJ did do that shit though. Yeah, he did. African Gamer. MJ was passing out. Motherfuckers was passing out over Jackson. Yes, I was almost one of those motherfuckers that passed out. Even the bandwagon said, "Stop, AG." Goat James said, "I was born right during those years with MJ winning the championships, but Mike was already a legend years before I was born." You better say it again, Chris. He said it's almost like a myth. He put out the greatest hits album during the 90s. Say it, Chris. Say it, Chris. AG, don't start, bro. Lord have mercy. You know what I'm talking about? AG, fuck Drake when it comes to Mike Jack nigga. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I wanted to bend y'all ear about, man. I didn't really want nothing. I didn't want to cause a stir. I just wanted to tell y'all who the greatest Michael was of all times. And ladies and gentlemen, it's not remotely close. Michael Jackson outranks bitch ass coon ass Michael Jordan by a country Jericho mile. Michael Jackson outranks Jordan by a Jericho mile. It ain't close. I don't want to hear shit about it. That is what it is. Fuck what y'all think. Fuck what y'all talking about. That man is the greatest entertainer of all time, and he's my GOAT of all times when it comes to anything in history: sports, singing, acting, race car driving, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, boxing, cooking food. That nigga is the greatest motherfucker of all times next to Jesus Christ. If I had to make my ranking, it has to be the Lord, of course. That's number one. Number two, Michael Jackson. He's close behind the Lord. Michael Jackson. Number three is probably a toss-up between Lewis and H. Davis. Number three favorite people of all times. Lewis, H. Davis, and Chris Cuzzo. This is my three favorite. That's number three on the list of all favorite all time. Okay, Lewis, Chris, H. Davis, DJ. Those are my. They're number three, and then LeBron is number four. Fuck everybody else. Everybody else is a distant second. So Jesus is one A. Michael is 1B. Then you got Lewis H. Davis, Cuzzo, DJ, and LeBron, and that's number four. And fuck everybody else after that. Oh, and my mom and my daddy don't count. They mom and my daddy don't count. So Jesus, my mom and my daddy. Michael Jackson is 1B. Chris H. Davis Lewis is Two. No, wait, hold on. Y'all threw me off. Okay, look, here you go. All right, I'm not joking. Okay, look. So Jesus and my parents, right, is number 1A, right? 1B, Michael Jackson. Okay. 2, Chris H. Davis Lewis and DJ. That's 2. However you want to rearrange them is fine with me. They're 2. 3 is LeBron, right? And then who I said number 4 was? Number 4 is everybody else. Fuck it. So those are my guys sticking to it. If anybody got a problem with me, you can come over here and see me with some hands. You don't want none of this smoke. You don't want the smoke. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to bend y'all ear, give y'all a little bit of entertainment, man. I hope y'all got some laughs. I hope nobody was offended if you're a Jordan fan. Like I say, I have Jordan shoes. He's one of the greatest basketball players of all time, all hate aside. I hate Michael Jordan as a player because I hate him as a player, but I do respect him as a player. I hate him because I'm a Laker fan, of course. So it's natural for me to hate him. I don't like him as a person. He's an asshole. He's a fucking coon. He's a sellout. But he's one of the greatest players of all times. But Michael Jackson, that's the guy there, man. He's one of the greatest people of all time, one of the greatest human beings of all time, and definitely in the world, the greatest artist, the greatest entertainer of all times. Oh, and ladies and gentlemen, Stevie Wonder was just rated the greatest singer of all time, number 1. And Stevie Wonder is one of my favorite singers in history. And my favorite album by Stevie Wonder was Characters, the album he did in 1987-88. And he also has a song on there with Michael Jackson called Just Good Friends. Excuse me, not Just Good Friends. Get It. Go check out the song with Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson called Get It. No one's gonna get it. Oh, no. So that's the song by them. So my favorite Stevie Wonder album is Characters by Stevie Wonder, 1987-88. My favorite Michael Jackson album of all times has got to be Bad. I like Dangerous too, but Bad. One of my favorite songs of all times is either Blood on the Dance Floor or Bad. Blood on the Dance Floor, Bad, Speed Demon. Those are the ones. Now, I could name my favorite song off of each album, starting from Off the Wall on up. Off the Wall, probably I Want to Rock With You. It's probably one of my favorite songs off the Wall album. Thriller's probably going to be Thriller or Billie Jean. Bad is going to be Bad and Speed Demon. I like Liberian Girl too. And I also like Dirty Diana. I like Smooth Criminal as well too. So I have a lot of songs on the Bad album that I like. He also did a song called this is the song that I told y'all hadn't heard about. A lot of y'all hadn't heard about. He did a song called Al Capone. And that was supposed to be part two of the Smooth Criminal song. Okay, just keep that in mind. On the Dangerous album, I gotta say Dangerous and She Drives Me Wild are some of my 2 favorites on that album. I do like Jam, which ironically, he did that song in a video with Michael Jordan in that video. Y'all go look up the Jam video if y'all don't know. Blood on the Dance Floor album, I like Blood on the Dance Floor. I like Stranger in Moscow. And here's another something that y'all probably didn't know about Michael Jackson. Sega Genesis worked real close with Michael Jackson. Not only did they do a video game called Moonwalker, which I had, but the Sonic the Hedgehog series, the makers of Sonic the Hedgehog worked closely with Michael Jackson in 1993 for Michael Jackson to help them produce and compose the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 soundtrack, ladies and gentlemen. This motherfucker was going to help produce a video game soundtrack. You know what fucked him up? The 1993 sexual child abuse allegations is what fucked him up. And that's all they were, was allegations. Because when I was a kid at that motherfucker, all I saw kids doing, run around Neverland Ranch was happy children. That he didn't even give off the vibe that he would hurt a child. Michael Jackson, if anything, was guilty of never having a childhood, so he lived his childhood through him being an adult because he had the money to do so. He ain't never touched no motherfucking kids. I don't believe that shit. No way, no fucking how. But he was and if you go back and listen to the Sonic 3 soundtrack, somebody go to YouTube when you get a chance, pull up the Sonic 3 soundtrack and listen to some of his music and tell me some of that shit don't sound like that. Like that motherfucking shit wasn't inspired by Michael Jackson himself. If you don't believe me, look it up. They got a whole story about it. But I'm telling you, the Sonic the Hedgehog soundtrack, Sonic 3 in particular, was heavily influenced by Michael Jackson. Even after the allegations and all of that, they still used some interpolations from Michael Jackson's voice and his musicology in that soundtrack, ladies and gentlemen. The Sonic the Hedgehog 3 soundtrack, ladies and gentlemen, 1993. Please look it up. Just a little sidebar. I thought that y'all might know, just for those of y'all that don't know. And also, another thing y'all probably didn't know. Y'all probably did know. He had a contract with the shoe company called LA Gear, right? At one point in time, he was going to sign the biggest deal. It was even going to be bigger than Michael Jordan's deal. I believe this was 89, 88. Bigger than Michael Jordan's deal with Nike for the LA Gear Michael Jacksons. I actually had a pair of those motherfuckers. They had all kind of rhinestones and buttons all over them motherfuckers. I had a pair. And I hate that I sold them because I outgrew them. My feet was growing real fast at that time. I outgrew those motherfuckers, but I had a pair of Michael Jackson shoes. I had a Michael Jackson. Me and my brother both had Michael Jackson Thriller jackets, the red and black ones. We were very heavily influenced by Michael Jackson, man, because we were, like I said, we were children. We're kids of the 80s. So I seen all of the 80s, ladies and gentlemen. I seen 1980 all the way up to 1989. So I was with him, and I was knowing of his career all through the 80s at the height of his career. So I'm blessed to have seen it all. And I'm blessed to have seen all of Michael Jordan's career. And that's what gave me the gumption and the audacity for me to get up here and speak about what I know. I'm not telling you what I heard. Not some uncle or my dad or some older brother or family member told me this. I lived the motherfucking shit, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the shit he did in the 60s and early 70s, I wasn't there for that. That's where Pops and Mom came up, because, you know, they came up. They're from his era. They're baby boomers like him. I'm Generation X. Michael Jackson, Pepsi, the choice of a new generation. That's my generation slogan. Generation X, the Pepsi and Coca-Cola wars, I'm going to do a show on that. The Pepsi and Coca-Cola wars. It's time for Unc to tell y'all about history y'all don't know about. From my eyes, because I was there, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go ahead and go back up here, and I'm going to read the chat before I go. Unc, is it true Jackson could fight? My barber was telling me, yep. Oh, my God. Ooh, man, I was just ready to get... Listen, y'all. Hey, listen. It is true. Okay, I wasn't there, but I know a couple people that were there personally. Wish I could bring them up and they'll tell you the story. But this is what was told to me personally. Michael Jackson, you know, Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones was real close, even after he stopped being Quincy stopped being his primary producer. You know, he was still close. Michael Jackson watched Quincy Jones' daughters grow up. You know what I'm saying? Kadada and Kadita Jones and what's the other one? I forgot the other name. But Tupac was going with one of the Jones girls. I think it was Kadada Jones. And he was talking to, you know, Tupac had a tendency to talk to people kind of reckless or whatever the case may be. This is what I heard. I heard two stories, different versions, but they all kind of equaled the same. But the first version I heard was they were coming out of somewhere. They was all at some kind of party or whatever. First of all, let me preface it by saying Michael Jackson was a real nigga. Don't let that soft voice fool you. Them some Gary, Indiana boys, and them motherfuckers can squabble. Now, my grandfather from the south side of Chicago, he grew up with Joe Jackson. He know Joe Jackson was a boxer, y'all. He taught them boys how to fight. You think them motherfuckers wasn't scrapping? Shit. But H. Davis could probably tell you a little bit more of that because he's actually from Gary. But I'm just here to tell you what I know. Now, this is what I heard. So Michael Jackson was like a godfather, big brother / uncle to all Quincy Jones' children. You know, the daughters he had with Peggy Lipton, right? And Tupac was talking kind of reckless. This is what I heard. And Michael said, yo, Pac. He said it like that. And, you know, not no, yo, Pac. That nigga was like, yo, Pac. Hey, man, don't talk to her like that. That's a woman. You know what I'm saying? That's Kadada. That's my niece or whatever he play niece or God niece, whatever he said. And Tupac kind of, you know, he kind of sweated Mike like, man, like, what the fuck you gonna do, man? You soft. That's the version I heard. He said Tupac called Michael Jackson soft because, like everybody else, he bought into the soft talking persona and all that, not understanding that was just a persona. But Michael Jackson was really a nigga, and there's several stories like that around, y'all. So this particular moment, Michael Jackson said, "Hey, man, don't talk to her like that." Like any nephew would, you know, any uncle or big brother would step up, you know, for the damn niece or nephew, like how I would step up for Chris or AT or anybody. If anybody got to fucking with y'all in the streets, you think I'm gonna let that go down? They got to go through me, and I'm a brick wall, ladies and gentlemen. So Michael Jackson was that big brick wall that day. He said, "Hey, man, her pops ain't here. Don't talk. Don't do this." And this was sometime after Poetic Justice because Tupac already had a problem. Him and Michael Jackson kind of already had a problem because Michael didn't like the way that, even though it was acting, he didn't like the way that Janet Jackson was kind of treated on the set. That's his sister. You know what I'm saying? And I heard he confronted Tupac then about it. And, you know what I'm saying, the security on the set had to you know, break. I don't know about that for sure. But this particular time, Tupac mouthed off at him and pretty much dared Mike, like, man, what you gonna do? Like, don't get in my face. He was like, I'm not in your face. I'm just telling you, don't talk to her like that. Well, what you gonna do? She's like, and talk to her again like that. I'm just paraphrasing. Talk to her again like that, and then find out what I'm gonna do, nigga. This is Michael Jackson talking. Okay, no joke. This is what was told to me. And Tupac got up in his face. See, here's the thing about Pac. Pac was mouth, but Pac couldn't fight. Everybody thought Pac could fight because he was quick to jump off the porch. Ladies and gentlemen, let me let y'all know something. Just because you ain't scared to fight don't mean you can't fight. Tupac wasn't scared to jump off the porch at a nigga, but Tupac wasn't really gangster like that. I'm just going to keep it a billion with you. He wasn't gangster like that. If that nigga was alive, I would have said the same thing. I'm not one of them type of niggas that wait till he died and start talking about. I love Tupac as an artist, but Tupac wasn't it. And he was on LA grounds. Very well respected by me. Didn't y'all just hear me say that Michael Jackson was backed up by actual gangsters? Tupac would have made one false move. That nigga wouldn't have made it out of 1993, 94. This supposedly had happened around 93, 94. So Michael was going through some things, but he pretty much told him, hey, man, you know, keep fucking with her, talking to her like that, and you're going to find out. And next thing you know, they said Pac got up in his face. Mike said, hey, man, get out my face. Pac spitting and talking and all that. He said, all right, it's cool as long as you don't touch me. Soon as he pushed Michael Jackson, he kind of like nudged him. Michael Jackson, bink, bink, binked him. That's what I heard. That's the first story. Second story is they're coming out same. It starts the same way. They're coming out. Tupac is kind of, you know, grabbing on her funny, whatever. He high, whatever the case may be. Grabbing on her, talking to her. Yeah, come on. Like, yo, slow down. I swear, man, these bitches be tripping. He didn't say it directly to her. This was what the other story told me. They said directly to her. But these bitches is tripping. Next thing you know, Mike said, hey, man, watch your mouth. Who you talking to? I talked to this bitch right here. Like, she tripping, blah, 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 blah. We're trying to get up out of here. I'm going to go to another party. And Michael was like, hey, man, like, I don't know what you think this is, but don't talk. That's somebody's daughter. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what he said. That's somebody's daughter. He said, man, I don't give a fuck whose daughter this is. And why are you stepping to me? Like, why do you care? He said, I care. You know what I'm saying? She's like family to me. And Mike said, just don't talk to her like that no more, man. I don't care about what you do. Just don't talk to her. I got in his face. Michael Jackson, like, he grabbed him. They say grabbed him by his collar. He kind of gave him like a sweep, put his legs around him, and he swept Tupac to the ground. And then Tupac spit on him, and then Michael Jackson started beating the fuck out of Tupac on the ground. Now, this is what I heard, ladies and gentlemen. So if you hear people talking about it online, Mike source, the guy that told me that was actually there at that party, like I said, I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? I was still kind of young myself. I wasn't there. I wouldn't have been there anyway. I wasn't that big in the bouncing world and in the bodyguard world at that point. I was just kind of starting off a little bit. But I know people. I knew people in the industry. My pops knew people out there like that. That's part of the reason why how I was able to get into the industry through the connections my pops had. But we knew a lot of people, so they put him in a lot of places. My pops himself, kind of did security work on the side too. So that put him around a bunch of people as well. So that's how I ended up getting to where I am today. So, but that's what I heard. I heard that both versions they got into a scuffle and they got into a fight, and Michael Jackson beat his ass. He beat his ass. Another incident. Michael Jackson's brother Randy, he had a mechanic shop that he owned down in East LA. This is facts here. He had a motorcycle mechanic shop that he owned in East LA. And Michael Jackson went to go visit his brother at the motor shop down there in East LA, Boyle Heights to be exact. And somebody had came up, a customer came up, whatever, and they knew who the customer was, the customer knew who they was, whatever, but the customer thought he can, stiff Randy. So Michael was like, "Hey man, you're gonna have to pay up. You're gonna have to pay my brother. You already said, I don't know what y'all got worked out, but you're gonna have to pay him." And said, unless Randy said you didn't have to pay him, you got to pay him. So he looked at Randy, and Randy was like, "No, he got to pay me for services rendered or whatever. He got to pay my workers for services rendered." So then, according to the customer that was there waiting, it said the dude was like, "I ain't got to do shit, and plus, man, you just Michael Jackson. You ain't nothing. I don't give a fuck about how much money you got or who you are. You soft. Once again, like you feminine bitch. Whatever came out of his mouth." And Michael Jackson was just like, "All right, let's go to the alley right quick." Literally like that. I bullshit you not, ladies and gentlemen, on everything that is holy and righteous to me right now. He called a nigga out to the alley. Said, "Let's go to the alley right quick, away from, out of sight." And they said the dude went to the alley like, "Oh shit, this gonna be easy work." Michael Jackson, skinny. He said Michael Jackson beat the fuck out of this dude, man. He beat him and then helped the nigga up. Helped him back into the shop, set him down, and then they called the ambulance. Michael Jackson told the ambulance what happened, and they let that nigga go. They didn't say nothing. They didn't report it to the police or nothing, bro. That's what the fuck I heard personally. For real. I was like, man, and these credible sources, these people that I know, y'all, the people that told me that. One was a homeboy that was down. He was in the club, or he was in the place where everybody was at. He told me that nigga don't lie. He ain't got no reason to lie. Like I say, if he was here today, I would have him tell y'all, "Hey, look, man, that's what the fuck happened." You know what I'm talking about? But the two versions that I heard ain't too far from each other. So somebody, somebody know what really the fuck happened. You know what I'm talking about? I bet you Kadada Jones know what the fuck happened because she was right there. Quincy Jones knew what happened. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, I'm just saying, Mike was no joke, man. He had hands. Remember, he used to work out with Lou Ferrigno. Lou Ferrigno, for those of y'all don't know, he was the original Incredible Hulk from Incredible Hulk 70s TV series. Lou Ferrigno, you can still find him around today. Sometimes he goes over to Equinox. Sometimes he goes to Venice Beach. Real big dude. Big dude, Lou Ferrigno. He worked out with Michael Jackson. He said Michael Jackson could bench 315 pounds. So he was strong. I know he was skinny and all that, but he said Michael Jackson used to like to fool people. But he was stronger than he let on to be, and he had hands. Muhammad Ali said that Michael Jackson had fast hands. He would come watch Muhammad Ali train when he was, in his teen years or whatever the case may be, and he would be over there shadow boxing. While Ali's in the ring training or sparring, Michael Jackson would be over there shadow boxing. You can go on YouTube right now and look up when they met up with each other. They was on some type of TV show. You could see Michael Jackson's form when he was kind of throwing punches with Muhammad Ali, whatever. You could see his form. Look at his feet action, and then look at the way he was throwing his hands. Michael Jackson had hands, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, he had motherfucking hands. Don't let that soft voice fool you. That soft voice nigga will beat the fuck out you. You know what I'm saying? He'll beat the fuck out you, gangster or not. He will beat your ass. That's what I heard, yo. And I'm in that world, so I know I didn't heard stories, bro. I got stories for your ass that I could sit up here and have a 24-hour show about, man. But I'll break it down to shows, all the stories. Tell me what y'all want to hear. Ask me anything. If I know about it, I'll tell you. If I don't, I won't. Some things were NDAs where I couldn't say anything. The times I was on tours and I had to bodyguard people, whatever, they made everybody sign NDAs. So there's certain shit I can't say. Other things I can't say, especially if the person is not here anymore. I can say it because there's nobody around to kind of penalize me for that. But that's well known in the streets and in the industry that Michael Jackson beat the fuck out of Tupac. He slapped up a couple people. I heard he slapped Diddy. Slapped that nigga. Backhanded him. Diddy, he was talking. Diddy came over there and tried to hug him behind his neck. And I heard Mike turned around and slapped him and got back to talking. That's what I heard. Now, y'all ain't never heard that story, have y'all? That's what I heard, ladies and gentlemen. So, answer your question, AG. Yep, I heard that, bro. So he said, yep. So, yep, that's true. Go James says, Mike had them 5 moves of doom. Dude literally has the same dance moves and motherfuckers still couldn't fuck with him. Facts. Straight facts for the haters. Bandwagon. Stevie Wonder ain't a better singer than R. Kelly, and I like Stevie Wonder. Well, see, that's subject to opinion, but the world says that Stevie Wonder is a better singer, not a better producer, you know what I'm saying, or even a better influencer, but he's a better singer. And I guess they say that because Stevie Wonder had multiple octaves he can go. Kelly didn't have multiple octaves he can go. So it's just a matter of personal opinion of who you like the most. But Stevie Wonder is he was rated the #1 singer of all times. African Gamer says Liberian Girl is underrated. Yes, it is. I love Liberian Girl. PYT Pretty Young Thing. That's another good one, says Cuba. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter to me. It's classic with MJ and Drake. The classic, yeah, that is a classic. It is. And Cuba said Moonwalker. You know what I'm saying? That's another classic. You know what I'm talking about? H. Davis. Yeah, everyone knew Michael Jackson. Everybody knew. Mike was fucking Diana Ross, right? Hey, man, stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. I wasn't there, so I don't know. Facts, cuzzo. Any Michael Jackson fan or supporter would have known that wasn't his real voice. Facts, cuzzo. He said Mike Jack was putting them paws on niggas back then. He had to keep a clean image because of his status throughout the world. Like how LeBron has to keep a clean image. You know how everybody thinks LeBron's a bitch because he won't fight nobody? Yeah, run up on that nigga and try to disrespect Savannah or his kids in person, and he's forced, and he got to defend himself. Y'all think he's just gonna flop, motherfucker? Oh, he's just gonna flop. That 6'9", 260-pound motherfucker that's in excellent shape will beat the fuck out of you. Y'all better stop thinking niggas is bitches because they don't like to fight. Just because he ain't doing like all the extra shit like Draymond and he ain't throwing off his hands and all that shit. Motherfuckers that often start all the fights and shit usually can't squabble. It's the motherfuckers that be like, you know what? I'm not going to do nothing. I'm just going to keep on walking. Those are motherfuckers you got to worry about. Y'all better stop sleeping on niggas that don't like to fight. Cuzzo says, he told niggas back then what it was. You know I'm bad. I'm bad. Shimon. You know I'm wolf. You know I'm bad. I'm bad, babe. Yo, you don't want me to start, Davis and Chris? Y'all know I've seen. Y'all be up on my Instagram page. Y'all know I get to singing up here, man, and won't stop. Them motherfuckers start sending me cash apps, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't throw dollars on the stage. So you got to send a cash app of $1. You know what I'm talking about? If I start singing up here. He said, I'm bad. Yeah. Said Mike had plenty of hands. You better be right, H. Davis. You're right. He said he had those. He has to have hands living at 2300 Jackson Street. Y'all remember that song? Is always home. 1991. 2300 Jackson Street. Oh no. It's always home. So yeah. So I'm just saying I can't sound like him, but y'all get the picture. So that's it. That concludes this broadcast, y'all. Please hit the like button. I hope I entertained y'all today. I hope y'all learned something that y'all didn't know. And I hope I was able to take y'all back to the things you did know. I appreciate everybody for showing up to the channel. Hit that like button on your way out. Hit the subscribe button, man. I got love for all y'all, man. Thank you for always showing your boys some love, man. because y'all don't have to do it. Y'all could have been anywhere today on Friday. But y'all come over here and y'all fuck with your boy, man. And I appreciate every ounce of it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace and blessings to everybody that has showed up to the channel, man. Go out there and be a blessing to somebody. I pray that somebody blesses you today and always. On behalf of the Major Level Mafia, this is H. Davis. This is Chris. This is the Bandwagoneer. This is AG. This is Laker Girl. This is DJ. This is everybody. This is Hell Rail. This is Jada Scorpio. This is all my goddamn nephews, nieces, and cousins, and brothers and sisters. On behalf of the Major Level Mafia, we out, y'all. Peace.